Oh. Hello. Alright. Double latte is just espresso. Happy New Year! Hang on 1 second. Hello. I'm trying to fix something. Don't you love when things don't? It's not scupper, I just turned some stuff off, so I had to turn it back on. But there we go, now it's all better. So yeah, you can see the difference now. I had to put stuff back on, because I was testing things. And surprisingly, yeah, when you turn off all these things, it makes you sound more scuff. Ain't that cool? Hello! Good morning to you, Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Okay. I've had one of the early 2 days for a stream that one of he's late today. Yeah. Very cool. Well, I sound normal now, right? Which is good. Alright. Let me... Why do I have this? There we go. I just have everything. Happy New Year to you. I got a couple more hours. I said, why isn't he slept? They're like, alright, let's continue. Why the blazes didn't you mention the third weapon when you got down the station? That's what he said. Yelled it right down there. Oh, he did. The head's still throbbing now. Ah. That's kind of worrying. You can barely hear me? What do you mean? I think you can hear me just fine. I think you just need to turn up your volume. Golly, hang on. Well, yeah, it's New Year's. That's the best time for that to happen. Alright. The way the detective behaved then was extremely out of character. I probably bumped this down just a little bit. Butter. What do you... My goodness. But looking back now, it must have been then that he did it. That was the opportunity Inspector Gregson created for himself in order to hide the disc. Finance golly. Well, bless my wig, he hid it! You. But I'm afraid I failed to comprehend the motive here. If the detective had acquired the disc he was after, why on earth would he then proceed to hide it in another man's pocket? This is a court of law, he could have submitted the item as evidence. You thought I was engaged? What do you mean I was engaged? To what? Van Zeeks? Ryanosuke? Gregson? Who do you think I was engaged to? It would appear, my lord, that the inspector was not at the liberty to do that.
Why ever not?
As the man himself revealed earlier, his current assignment has some special conditions.
The orders were recover the medium used to convey the secrets leaked from the ministry.
It could be a New Year's resolution. I think I'm good. You read it as finance. Yes, I read it as finance. But he put it as, I'm assuming it was supposed to be France.
Hush, hush! A top secret assignment, is it?
Golly, is the judge going in circles? As far as we're aware, the information stolen from the confidential government communications. It would seem that if the information were to be revealed in a court as evidence would be problematic. Does that sum up the situation, Inspector?
I'm operating under direct orders from the ministry. I'm afraid I am not at liberty to answer that question.
So, realizing there was a chance that you may be searched here in court, you took steps to hide the disc you had acquired from the witness. And what the frick is this? This shouldn't be how you spoke. Yeah. Nothing's wrong with France. It was the way that Post spelled France that was funny.
Oh, does that mean...
He only pretended to attack Mr. Skulkin in order to get close enough to him to slip the second disc into his pocket.
So it was all a pretext?
Yep. Fancy. Yeah.
Well now, Inspector Gregson, you and Mr. Graydon, are you prepared to admit to the accusation made against you of this alleged deal?
I still can't believe I could do a really good old man voice. I'm very impressed. Oh, we're doing this. Meant to it. Yours truly, please. Tea in the background again. What the frick is your cat doing? Are you outside? New Year's resolution, I don't know. Keep growing my channel. Enjoying new games. I don't know. I don't know, he loves posing. Mr. Graydon. Clearly, our Eastern visitor has an uncommonly active imagination. However, there's no proof that I passed that disc to the inspector.
Objection!
But then, how do you explain the reason why you knew about the peephole? I'm under no obligation to explain. What? Yes, I lied in my testimony, that I admit, so sentence me accordingly. But that is all I admit. Murder, leaking government secrets, striking a deal with the detective. All of it is this young Eastern man's fantasy. Elder Ring? So are you just playing an
Older man going like this across the country, trying to do everything. Is that what you think?
my favorite video game? Oh boy. Yeah, just a very old man going across the world. I have no idea what any of that is about. You... What? Oh boy. Well, what about you then, Inspector Gregson? Do you admit to making a deal with Graydon in order to acquire the disc?
Ladies and gents of the jury, as Scotland Yard Inspector, I will declare this and nothing more. I am acting in the best interest of the country. Whatever I've done, it's been in the name of justice.
Maybe you should make your character an old man just for fun. Maybe, we'll see. Can you make an old man character in Elden Ring? I know there's customization, but can it be an old man? Like, can you have an old man be a character? Does it have that much customization? Yes, you can. I was curious if it just only had, like, younger looking character options. Or you can make horrors. Just... Oh boy. Those are just stuff that I will put on a list. How's that sound? Maybe it'll happen. We'll see. But as we know, I have games to finish. So as members of the public of this fine country, I'd like to think that justice will be your guide and light when you're making your decisions. What do you mean by that, Gregson?
This is quite a quandary. This is quite a quandary indeed.
Oh boy.
Rarely have I encountered such extraordinary
goodness. You become a little bit more than Robin. Oh wow. Just in general. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. It's like tumultuousness.
Rarely have I encountered such an extraordinary tumultuousness in the conducting of a trial. Nevertheless, in the absence of any further evidence to be presented, I believe it is time that we put the matter to the jury for their final leadings.
Well now, as a fellow servant of Queen and country, I must say I sympathize with the old inspector. Yes, he's a dependable man, I'm quite sure. In service, one becomes a good judge of character. Even crossing your eyes doesn't help when it comes to looking at this case. It's all blurred to me. Well, as a fellow professional, I'd like to put my faith in the detective, really. Graydon is highly skilled operator. Stop. Currently in presence of idol. Stop. I just clicked. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Detective has very much trust in my eyes. More than this, I cannot say. I don't believe it. The 6 jurors they're going to believe Gregson. If they declare their decision now... Is Ginny going to be found guilty? Who? Ashley Graydon? Yeah, Ashley Graydon. Or also known as, Milverton. If I don't manage to produce some definitive evidence right now, then we're going to lose. Hello. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Either some proof that Graydon killed Mr. Windybank or stole those government secrets, or some evidence to force Gregson into admitting that he struck a deal with the witness.
Well then, counsel, I think it's time I imposed on the jurors to declare their final decisions, no?
That's what his stand does, I guess.
That is, unless you have some compelling evidence you have thus far not presented to the court.
If I let the judge call on the jurors to announce their leanings, Gina will be found guilty. I don't know how she would be found guilty at this point, when this guy has we have every reason to believe this guy is suspicious. So there's no choice then, Bruno. You have to throw some more evidence at them. Yes, it is dragging on so freaking long. This is it now. It all comes down to this. What do I present who do I present evidence against? Gregson or Graydon? Good thing we stopped last time. Yep. Oh, you finally deciphered it? What did it say? Victim was assured with 3 eyewitness testimonies, however, a surprising 4 testimony resulted in acquittal to sufficient evidence. Let's schedule the omnibus on the day after stab wound. Okay, that's not helpful. Issued in forms of handwritten notes. That's representation papers. What does term? To defense. Okay, that's not helpful to me. You won't believe this, but even the translator is another encryption, so I have to find another translator. Wow, they went crazy on that one. Death. Reporting party. Instant death. What would I even present? No, he's saying that he still has to find another encryption. Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. I still got a while to go, but we're getting there. Music box disc. I'm gonna analyze. Okay, let me just see. Enter Hurley's body at all, thanks to the thick leather of the pouch. Okay. The point is, he's saying that there's an encryption within an encryption within an encryption. So it's literally been put through the ringer. I don't know. Who the frick? Who do I present evidence against? Graydon or Gregson? Do I have anything against either of them? Mr. Mason's. I deciphered the sound through an infograph translated to Morse. The decipher told me you need another translation. Yep. Okay, those aren't helpful to me. Let's see. It's not in Bakersfield. Okay. Let me just see. Okay, that's not anything important. This doesn't really have anything. This is about the guild. Attorney. Nothing. Is it? Yeah, I don't know. I think they really went through it. Prepared by Scotland Yard confirms instant death. Photograph. This. It's not that difficult to find. I think it's because it's supposed to be government secrets. It might be just be encoding and encoding and encoding if it's supposed to be government secrets. In a fictional world, it would make sense for it to be very much hidden. I do share your scope, but it's really quite fascinating. Alright. The bottom of these secrets. And I'm trying to figure out what the heck I would have to use for evidence. What the frick am I supposed to do? Because I'm like, this is all the evidence I have. I don't think letting for the... Who do I present evidence against? Because what would I use to prove... Is this the other... Okay, that's the one that's in the music box right now. Assumingly. So yeah, the from Miguel, there's 6 in the music box, the main deposit of the windy bags. Yeah, it's like, what does it... What is the thing? And yes, I know I'm blocking Iris. I'm just trying to figure out... I found out all the secrets, though. So... That's why I'm trying to figure it out, Iris. Alright, you're gonna say the same thing on the top, blah blah blah. Okay, so yeah, we've had this happen. I thought this was just gonna be the smoking weapon that we were gonna have. Wow. Found the signs of single round. Case notes, manuscript, portfolio. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Let's try this one. Inspector Gregson. There's one final piece of evidence I would like you to see. What's that then? Just send it. If you refuse to acknowledge that you did in fact strike a deal with the witness here today, then you leave us no choice but to examine this piece of evidence thoroughly. We'll go on. This is my last chance. It looks like I'm going to have to force his hand here. One final piece of evidence to get this detective to admit his deal is clearly struck with Grey Dun. It was deposited at Windy Big 2 days before the black overcoat. What the frick? It's giving me like barely anything. Apparently it's something in this, but I don't know what it's supposed to be. It's like, what the frick? Like, it's supposed to be one of them, but what is it supposed to be? Give me a sign. Anything. Alright. You know what? I'm gonna just run in. Why? What's wrong now? I like to make the disc for the blood color. Maybe that is definitely a possibility. One of them, since he said dropped it from the people that wasn't there. But this is to prove, if it's for Gregson, it's to prove he struck a deal. Maybe you just haven't seen it. Maybe we haven't seen it. I'm literally trying to see. Huh. Okay, so it really is either... So you get to pick. It's either... Yes, I looked because I was confused. So you either pick the music box or the disc. Why? And it doesn't matter who you pick, by the way. Have we tried saying please? No.
Take that!
But apparently it's either of them.
Is that Mr. McGill's music box disc, Council?
Yes, the first disc of 2, which has already been placed into Mr. McGill's special music box ready to play. I think perhaps we now would make a good time to listen to the sound produced by the music box again. Ugh. The illusion of choice. Yep. Only this time, with the second disc we just discovered set in place as well. Oh, well, there we go.
Goodness, this disc counts.
Hold it! Oh, boy.
No, wait. I can't let you do that.
Why not?
Because it's got nothing to do with this case, that's why.
Objection!
Not true, Inspector. The defense has already proposed that the sounds heard by the court earlier from this music box were part of a Morse code message. Yeah, Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. We know that Morse code comprises of two distinct tones. Yeah, see ya! Thanks for stopping by. The defense believes that the second disc contains the second tone needed to complete the message. And now we have a chance to confirm that theory. Wow, really? That's what we're going with?
Crying out loud, Sunshine, we're talking about state secrets here. If you go letting the whole courtroom hear confidential information like that, it's treason.
Then do you admit the charge? That in order to protect those state secrets, you engaged in unlawful dealings with the witness?
You're mad.
Oh, so we're literally putting him at at the edge of a cliff, pretty much. You either admit it, that you conspired with Ashley Graydon, or we play the second disc with the first disc and say all the secrets for the whole court to hear.
If you let that secret information out into the public domain, you'll be making an enemy of the entire British government, you idiot.
Objection!
Yep. Uh-huh. Let's not forget, Inspector, that you, a Scotland Yard officer, leaked confidential case and details to a witness. Then you continue to lie to the court, and all because by fair means or foul, you determined to do your duty. Well, by fair means or foul, I'm prepared to do mine.
Don't you dare!
I will stop at nothing to protect my client. I don't care who I make an enemy of. Wow, he's ready to go against the British government. What do you think of that, Van Zeeks? You've been sitting there in the corner quietly. My lord, if you please. The court must hear the sounds made by that music box.
Come on, Van Zeeks, for Pete's sake, stop it!
Objection!
Oh, and there's the foot. Inspector, you should know my methods by now. I'm a prosecutor. I'm no Scotland Yard puppet. Yay, Van Zeeks! He hated British citizen. Yeah! Hello. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Well, yeah, but he could be expedited out of the country. In this part where my duty is to law, so let me propose a toast to uncovering the truth. By fair means or foul. Yay!
No! Very well, the defense's stance and that of the prosecution has been made very clear, I feel. Therefore, in accordance with the defense's request, the court will now listen to the music box set in operation once more. This time with the second disc in place, and both display simultaneously.
Come on, Gregson. Nope, I have not. Oh, wow, he did. Oh, listen to that. It's unmistakable now. It's Morse code. I've played it a long while ago.
All right, I admit it, whatever you want, but for the love of God, shut that bloomin' box up.
Oh, he finally did it. He agreed. Did he think we were not serious? Let me ask you again then, Inspector Gregson. Did you or did you not strike a deal with the witness next to you in the stand, Mr. Ashley Graydon?
Specifically, did you furnish the witness with confidential details in exchange for this music box disc? Did you reveal the existence of the people in the pawnbroker storeroom door, Inspector? I did.
Stop, what are you doing? He's trying to do his job.
It's all exactly like the young Eastern lawyer said. When the trial resumed after the recess, we were stood here in the stand together. That's when he approached me with the deal.
Shut up, you imbecile. Shut up. Yeah, his loyalty is very commendable, that he was doing his job. Psst, you there. You're the detective who turned up at the pawnbroker the other day, aren't you? I may have something you're looking for, Inspector. With me at this very moment. So how about a trade? I suggest you accept. Or information that may make certain individuals uncomfortable will soon become very public indeed. Wow, so he threatened Gregson. He threatened Gregson about the information.
Couldn't let that information become public knowledge, not under any circumstances. So I accepted the man's proposal and told him details about the case that should have put him in the clear. The people in the storeroom door and the bloodstains on the overcoat.
By giving false testimony, this witness intended to have the defendant wrongly accused of murder. Inspector, you knew that. Yet you still revealed these details to felicitate the witness's perjury.
I did.
At least he's owning up to it.
But then it turned out the people had only been made that night after the incident took place. Scotland Yard wasn't aware of that, if I'm perfectly honest.
Well, Mr. Grado, what do you have to say for yourself? There's nothing and no one left for you to hide behind. You struck a deal with the inspector in order to escape conviction of a very serious crime. Namely this. You are the third intruder who broke into the pawnbroker on the night in question. And you perpetrated the murder of the proprietor, Mr. Pop Windybank. You. Traitor. That's illegal. That's assaulting an officer. Let Grayson go. Grayson, go.
Bailiff, restrain that man! At once!
What the frick? Gregson did... What the frick? That's it then. It's all over. What the frick? Please let Gregson get a promotion or a long-deserved vacation. He did not deserve that. Yeah, I'm not denying that. I'm saying that Gregson did deserve this. I despised my life growing up. I despised my life growing up. Those slums are vile places. I was cursed from birth, born into poverty, son of a penniless artisan. My parents did nothing but quarrel all day long. What little money they had was never spent on me. So I set about studying to better myself, to one day escape from that heck hole.
And you eventually became a communications officer. I admire your determination.
But then you decided to try to sell government secrets? Why? I know. I'm not saying Gregson is completely off the hook. I'm not saying he deserves to die. There's a very big difference. Isn't it obvious? Because I wanted money. Even now, years later, the nightmares of my life in the slums wake me in the small hours. I wanted to drown them out with more money than anyone who lived in that squalor could ever imagine. Then one day I met him. Mr. Magnus McGild. You're fitting with a core of talent, so you are. I have money to throw your way if you're interested. All you need to do is go along with me little plan now. You really should not have met Magnus McGild. That was your downfall. I would steal the ministry's telegraphic message logs, and McGill would buy them for a handsome sum. As I was responsible for inspections of the ministry's communications office, it was a simple enough task. The lure of the devil's offerings, how easy it is to succumb.
But you must surely have realized the seriousness of the crime you were committing.
And for that reason, I took great lengths to ensure that my actions were untraceable. By using the music box. My father was a brickmaker, though my mother divorced him when I was still a child. Yes, Mr. Mason Milverton. That's right, he was very skilled with his hands. He once had been a music box maker apprentice. I imagined his skills would be sufficient to create a machine that could generate Morse code. It is sad. It doesn't excuse his actions, but it is sad. So I sought out my father again to employ his services. It was the first time I'd seen him since I left the slums 10 years earlier. I think it's sad that he has a trauma of thinking that he never has enough to keep himself safe. Yeah, I'm not saying that. It's sad in the sense of, I feel bad that even in a comfortable lifestyle, his life that he grew up with made him feel that he was never comfortable. He could never be comfortable in his life. He always had to have money drown him so much that so he could feel safe. Because he is scared that he might not be able to eat or have a house to live in, warmth, water, food. That I can feel bad for. But as Paul said, what do you mean? I'm just saying that I feel bad for. His actions of the death of, inadvertently, the death of two men, one being his father, trying to frame a young girl for his crime, involving his childhood friends in a scheme that was way over their heads, that they didn't even know about, is very messed up, and he deserves to be tried for the crimes that he did. Look at you, Ashley, what a fine gent you become, eh? He was a different man to the one in my memory, a thin, frail old man. But poverty had never broken him, never corrupted him like it had me. I was sure that he wouldn't help me if I told him the real reason, so I made up a story. I've got some work for you, Father. I need some music box disc made. Music box disc, eh? A musician friend of mine has written some music he wants to sell to the public. So you lied to your father. You lied to your father as well. I brought the score with me. There's two, actually. I'd be delighted, son. It's been 20 years since I did any work like this, though. Fetch me my tools, would you? They're in the loft. He sounds like a nice man. That's how I met him. Had him made the two discs. Thereby splitting the information in two. You were taking considerable precautions indeed. Well, as Natural said, apparently it's under Morse code over Morse code and Morse code, so I guess he really did really well on it. It was to protect myself as much as anything. It meant that I could deal with McGill in two separate transactions. The first involved the first of the two discs and the music box for playing them. Exchange them with McGill for 10 guineas. Then on the receipt of the second disc, he would pay 1,000 guineas. Guineas, golly. So what happened on the omnibus 2 months ago? Was the second part of the deal the exchange of the second disc? Yes. I'd sold the man information that way a number of times already, but it seems he became reluctant to part with his money. Why? Why did Magnus want... He did this deal, but then he was reluctant to get rid of his money? Was he being tailed, maybe?
But but that doesn't quite make sense, Mr. Graydon. Why was it that on the omnibus 2 months ago, your father, Mr. Milverton, was the one dealing with Mr. McGill and not yourself?
When I received 1,000 guineas after my first completed dealings with McGill, I decided to give 200 to my father for his troubles. But my father realized something was amiss. In time, he worked out that I must be involved in something dubious. And when he did, he said to me, "Next time there's an exchange, you'll let your old man do it, understand? Otherwise, I won't take your money anymore." Was he protecting his son? I wonder why he went to do the deal. That was my father's way of dealing with it, I suppose. Climb into the omnibus, hand over the second disc, and take the money from McGill. That's it. He had no idea what was actually on that disc I'd asked him to make. He never knew. Just like I'll never know why everything went so horribly wrong that night. All I know is that when the disc was taken from him, he never returned home. Yeah, I think he was I think he wanted to protect his son. In his own way. He wanted to see what his son was getting involved with. I don't think he wanted to lose his son that he hadn't seen in 10 years. It's only then that I found out what sort of a monster McGill really was. So after 10 years of not once uttering it, I swore in my father's name. To exact revenge. Did he light the omnibus with McGill in it? Revenge? Well, so you can't say that the Reaper of the Bailey did it. It was his... Ashley Milverton did it. Yeah, I bet the dad probably did plan to give it over. I agree with that. That's why we can... No, frick. Is anyone with even the remotest knowledge of the man would no doubt be able to imagine? McGill brought all his wealth and influence to bear in the most despicable of ways. To crush any semblance of justice in his trial. The crime scene was tampered with, the evidence was fixed, and the witnesses were bribed. The trial was 10 months ago was a farce from the start to finish. My feet had barely touched British soil back then, and I walked into that hornet's nest completely unaware of the sinister background to it all. And the frickin' Lord Chief Justice put us right in there. Thanks, buddy. You did so great. I'd made plenty of money out of my dealings with McGill by then, so I spared nothing in my arrangements 2 months ago. I knew exactly who to hire. If you're willing to pay the price, there are people in this city willing to do anything you ask. Yeah, it did teach us a lot, but I don't think you should really put a novice lawyer with no experienced attorney at hand. We did good with what we were given and no context, but golly, you give up? Is the disc... Yeah, he wanted a mistrial on purpose. Let me see. Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Morse code message. Wait until they reveal it. Let me see. Someone has a whole thing there is a whole thing. Sorry, I'm reading the thing. Huh. Oh, I'm not gonna tell you guys until we get to the end of the trial. Okay. McGill himself has shown me that. Are you saying that? I think you have the picture now. After he twisted everything to his favor in this courtroom to ensure that he walked free. In a way they do. Iris and Susato, I think it said Susato. Yeah, they give you hints and I'll tell you what they are. That tragic incident following the trial here 2 months ago was planned and executed by yours truly. McGill's death that day was caused by this man.
Everything's ready, sir. If you'd like to follow me into the courtroom.
What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe.
Hope it's not inconvenient, sir, but there were some changes to the schedule.
Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. They're going to examine the omnibus again. So I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. It makes sense now that he is a character and it's all connected. Golly, these last 3 cases have been connected together, which is wild. Our last few ones. So the policeman who came to tell McGill that he could examine the omnibus again. That's right, and an imposter hired by me. How many freaking police how many bobbies do they have? Uniforms just lying around. Frickin' Herlock has one. This imposter had one. Do we have one? The guild used his wealth to manipulate the trial. Paid people to adulterate the omnibus with all manner of false evidence. Threatened witnesses to lie in their testimony. So I gave the man a taste of his own medicine. Once the omnibus was doused in paraffin, one of my sham policemen ushered McGill inside and sent him on a one-way journey to heck. Huh. An eye for an eye. That's how I avenged my father's death.
Spy-chilling account indeed!
That wasn't the end of it for me. There was a loose end, you see. Loose end? Yes, I should think it's obvious. The second disc, which my father had taken to exchange with the guild. You don't have a police disc as your possession right now? Why would I have a possession? Why would I have that? Why would I have that?
Oh, yes. There was indeed no mention of it in the man's trial 2 months ago. Clearly because it had been removed from the scene of the crime.
When I realized it was missing, I remembered something. Why do you all have one? Something from the first time I dealt with McGill. This is the first of the 2 discs in the music box. You need to play them. Well, look at it now. What an ingenious little invention. So then, as promised, 10 guineas for you, young man. What's this? Wendy Bake's pawnbrokery. I'm missing the mustache? What the frick? Why do you have 2? This is a pawnbrokery ticket, so it is. You can see it. Use it to redeem an article I've deposited for you. There's no need to give a name. Just hand over the ticket and tell the watchword. I'll put a jewel in palm for you. It'll fetch a good 10 guineas if you sell it, so it will. Oh my god. I've never heard of pawnbroking being used in quite that way before. Have you not, Mr. Grado? Well, pawnbrokers are very useful places, you know. Everyone is like an extremely secure vault. Oh my gosh, I get the point. So I knew that if he had taken steps to hide the disc, it would be in that pawnbrokery somewhere. And then on that night, he killed my father. He must have entrusted the ticket to someone. Yes, to Gina. I remember now. That's when we first met you at the Windy Banks the afternoon 2 days ago. You had a description of Miss Letstrade written down. How did you know who you were looking for? The trial, that pickpocket's testimony was clearly particular. Anyone could see that. I realized immediately that she was another of McGill's pawns, that he must have threatened her somehow. I was fairly convinced it would be her who had the ticket, so I started to make some inquiries. I had a strong suspicion that girl would come out of the woodwork on the redemption deadline. He was absolutely right. And yes, sure enough, she did. All I needed to do was wait until the girl went to the Windy Banks to redeem the articles, but unfortunately, she redeemed only McGill's overcoat and the one disc that was in its pocket. The all-important music box with the second disc inside was missing. This in the present too much of a hassle? Yeah! Because the die had been forfeited 2 days earlier. I was unaware of that fact. I had not been. I could have avoided my nighttime excursion. Meanwhile, our investigation into the stolen government secrets was progressing. We picked up on the fact that McGill was involved. Inspector, you've recovered fast. My orders were to recover the stolen information as quickly as possible. We started gathering the fellows and possessions and examining whatever we could lay our hands on. We had a full-scale investigation going on at the yard, but we had to keep it as quiet as we could. Then, when the inspector here took the disc from me in the pawnbrokery that day, I became nervous. I was sure the music box and the second disc were still there at the pawn shop somewhere. Oh, I'm not in the... So I knew it was a race against time. I had to find those articles before the police did. Yeah, it could have. So what prompted you to break into the place that same night? So that's what prompted you to break into the same place that night, with the help of your old friends, the Skulkin brothers. What happened that night in the pawnbrokery, I can only describe as a nightmare. When Nash and Ringo were searching the counter, I located the music box I sold to McGill on the shelves of forfeited articles. And the second disc was inside? Yes, I slipped it into my pocket with a very deep sigh of relief. But then, something entirely unexpected happened. What are you doing in my shop? A shot rang out in the shop and I felt a sharp pain in my left arm. Broker fired his weapon and the bullet pierced your limb. Yes, exactly. But unfortunately, I decided to bring my own weapon with me that night, just in case. Why did you follow... Why? Why? Before I knew what was happening, I'd fired back. That man had already turned to flee. I hadn't intended to fire in his direction, much less kill him. But unfortunately for both of us, the bullet hit home. It struck him in the middle of his back as he fled through the storeroom door for refuge.
Sorry, Dale.
It all took place in the blink of an eye. I don't imagine Nash and Ringo even realized what had happened at first. I was terrified, so I fled. And that's the whole story. That's everything that happened at Windy Banks on that wretched night. Point is, he was a coward. That's what we've learned. Oh, great. I'm stuck on the floor again. All right. Well, I think Jenny's safe. Ellie, you called McGill a monster. A man who used his wealth and influence to distort the facts and escape justice for the crime of murder. What a tragic irony. For what you have done is exactly the same. That is true. That is true. They're clinically insane. What do you mean? He literally could have not made him a deal with Miguel and been fine. He would have lived. But because he got involved with Magnus, he caused the death of his father, caused the death of a pawnbroker, traumatized a poor child. You've become the very monster you saw and despised so deeply in the guild. Yes, I think I have. Okay, are we done now?
Well, this has been a long and exhausting trial. However, it would seem that, at last, we have arrived at the truth. Finally!
Finally, we're free!
Inspector Gregson would have Ashley Graydon.
He's been restrained, my lord, and he's being escorted to the yard. Woohoo! Yeah, oh, Pete. He'll be charged with the murder of Mr. Windybank and the stealing of government secrets. And the murder of McGill?
Very good. And to you, Inspector. Regrettably, you will have to face charges yourself.
He admits it. Yes, my lord. Of course. Transpired that you were complicit in helping a criminal escape justice. That fact remains whether or not you were doing so in the line of duty. The crime is a serious one, Inspector. Inexcusable. But of the sob story. Yeah, that is true.
Now to the defendant, Miss Gina Letstrade.
Yeah?
It is time for the final abdication. It is the jury ready, Mr. Foreman.
Yes, sir. Reeve Squadron standing by, sir. This is really it now. This is the last push, the final call, the final whistle. Finishing whistle. My men are ready to deliver their verdicts.
Thank you, Mr. Foreman. Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You will now declare your final decision to the court.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Yay!
Not guilty.
Yay!
Not guilty.
Correct.
Not guilty.
Great.
Not guilty.
Fantastic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Justice been served. That's the stuff. I'm off the hook.
Finally, Bruno, you've finally managed to do it.
Finally is the word. I really wasn't sure if we'd come out on top for a while. There.
Sissy was right. You're the best lawyer in the world.
I don't know about that.
Miss Letstrade, I am not finished with you yet.
Eh? What? What? You look at me like that for? Yeah, I'm gonna say, she's not done.
Before you start enjoying your freedom, there are certain other crimes to consider.
Eh?
2 months ago, in my courtroom, no less, you gave false testimony, did you not?
She will if she returns to England.
And in relation to the trial today, not only did you unlawfully enter Windybank's pawnbrokery, you also attempted to ascend with Mr. McGill's property, it seems.
I've never done nothing of sort. Of course not. It's not like you were gleefully wearing Mr. McGill's coat in your cell yesterday or anything.
Just when I was getting excited about throwing a party for Ginny this evening.
And turning our attention to the defense. Determining that, when played together, the music box disc contained a message in Morse code was, well, certainly a most unexpected revelation, counsel.
Quite so, my lord. The prosecution was caught entirely off guard.
In fact, I think we should applaud my learned friend's courage here today and propose a toast.
How many toasts?
To demanding the government secrets be disseminated before the entire courtroom.
But very sorry about that. It was the only way that I could get Inspector Gregson to admit to what he'd done, so...
If I may say something
On that point... Isn't that...
It's, about that sound produced by the music box before. I do wonder if that was really Morse code at all.
What? What are you saying, madam?
Oh, well, it's just that I'm rather fanatical when it comes to Morse code, you see. So much that the whole world seems to be covered in dots and dashes to me, in fact.
Goodness, madam, an unhealthy level of obsession one feels.
But I was saying that, in my opinion, that sounds produced by those two discs were nothing more than that. Meaning a series of two different tones.
What? What? Can that really be? Yeah, he drinks way too much. Freaking slap. My lord, the defense would like to listen to the music box again.
Are you off your nut? How many times do I tell you those discontainment minstrel secrets, sunshine?
This courtroom is not an appropriate forum to discuss the nature of the government communications. We know the guild conspired to trade national secrets with our enemies, secrets acquired from Mr. Graydon. Now that man has admitted to his crimes, we have no need to pursue the matter further.
Ugh, but it's really going to bother me.
Miss Letstrade!
Yeah, my lord?
That which you have seen here today in this courtroom is extremely disturbing.
Falsifying evidence, intimidation, perjury, grim catalog of depravity.
An appalling experience to befall any child.
Come on, it ain't nothing I don't see most days in the back slums.
I beg your pardon?
If you're weak, you pay for it. That's how life goes.
Gina.
But look, I reckon I'd work something out today. Well, it ain't fair, but if you want it to change, you've got to start at home. You gotta start change how you are yourself.
At least she learned that.
Well, that's a very laudable lesson, I would say. I eagerly look forward to the board again, Miss Letstrade, never gracing our courtroom with her presence again. Now, with regards to the murder of Mr. Pop Windybank, proprietor of the pawnbrokery business on Baker Street, I hereby declare the defendant, Miss Gina Letstrade, not
Guilty! Woohoo! Give me that confetti! Yay! We did it! And fireworks! Woohoo! Boom, boom, boom. Woo! Look at that! What did it? We're free!
This is all court is adjourned. Finally!
Golly, that took way too long. That took a frickin' hour. Just... Oh, he's got his jacket back, his coat back on. Why are we standing here?
Well, on a personal note, I must say you've surprised me, my Far Eastern friend.
Oh.
Despite being an Japanese, you saw through the pretense to the malice that festered within that Englishman.
Yeah, probably way too often.
At the same time, you saw through the grime to the surprising heart of your English client. You have a curious talent for judging character, especially considering our very different cultures.
Okay. You've went up against him, what, 3 times now? I think you should have figured that out before. I don't think there's anything curious about it. Whether we're from the Empire of Great Britain or the Empire of Japan, we're all human beings. We're not so very different on the inside.
You know, I took this case for one very simple reason. to lock swords with you once again here in the courtroom.
Wow! We caught the Reaper's attention. That's nice, I think.
You did?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, it's just like with the way that he's acted other times, it's like, what the frick?
When I encountered you for the first time 2 months ago, it reminded me of toasting friendship and trusting with another Nipponese, only finding my trust betrayed.
Oh. He knows he was friends with another Japanese person that betrayed him. I wonder, is that why he disappeared? Like 7 years ago? Like a couple of years ago, is that why he disappeared?
Through you, I hope to look into the eyes of the man I once knew. Try to understand.
You mentioned something similar earlier today, about total betrayal at the hands of the Japanese. What happened exactly?
Well, you may ask. And one day, when the time comes, you will learn that answer, whether you like it or not.
Alright, then I'll wait for that day if I must.
Coming to be known as the Reaper of the Bailey, in my retirement from service 5 years ago,
It was 5 years ago.
caused me to wonder if our meeting had some deeper purpose.
I think it does. But I don't know how.
So, farewell, my learned Nipponese fellow, till we meet again.
Okay. See ya, Vansies. I think we'll see you in the next game, assumingly. 17th of April, 5:24 p.m., the Old Bailey. Defense's Antechamber. Finally! It's done, it's over at last. But, where's Iris disappeared to? Congratulations, Gina. I knew it all along. I knew that you were innocent.
Well, you did what you said, Mr. Naruto. You believed in me right up to the end. You're as odd as your name.
What's odd about it? I told you I had faith in you, didn't I? Get toe ripoff. We'll see. We'll see.
No one ever had me before, see? Kept a promise, I mean, properly.
That's awful.
Figured something out today. All my life, growing up in the slums, I've never trusted no one. But that's just because I've been scared of me being stabbed in the back. I mean, the more you trust someone, the more it hurts when they let you down.
Alright, I gotta take a quick break. I'll be right back. And then we'll finish this freaking game. And then I'll answer what the message is. Because I'm waiting for Iris to explain it. Because Iris actually explains a clue? I think it's a clue. I only said that because he has a mask on always. Yeah. Makes sense. Is this just gonna be how it is? Whatever. Alright, anyway, I'll be right back. I go away for a few minutes in the chaos. What the frick, guys? You'd follow Small Run anywhere? Golly. Why are you guys like this? Yes, I think I understand that. After all, I had a taste of that in the trial 2 months ago. I chose to trust someone and paid for it. That betrayal left a big scar. You know, though, Gina, I worked something out quite recently, too. Trusting someone else is really an exercise of learning to trust yourself. And when your gut tells you it's the right thing to do and your trust is rewarded, there's no better feeling in the world. I think I have you to thank for reminding me of that valuable lesson.
Oh, well, if you say so. Don't make it a lot of sense to me, though.
I'm trying to say that putting my faith in you, Gina, has been a real pleasure.
For crying out loud, pack it in. I suppose. Sort of feel the same way.
Aw,
I mean, sometimes trusting someone is, you know, alright.
thanks.
It's the way I see it, Ryunosuke. Defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself.
After this experience, I'm starting to feel like I understand what you mean. Cosmo, am I living up to your expectations? Am I turning out to be the lawyer you believed I could be? Pardon the interruption. Who... Iris? Or, pardon the... Oh!
But what deuces does a man have to do to be noticed around here, my dear fellow?
Did you guys notice he was there?
That voice. It's too late for that voice now, Mr. Naruto. I've been standing here patiently in the corner of the room for an eternity. Yes, it was me all along, I would have said when you finally noticed me. But you people, with your incessant babbling. Mr. Shlomes. Oh, yes, it was me all along. You see?
He changes fast, golly. I'd assumed you'd been taken back to the hospital, to be honest.
Indeed I was, but I managed to escape again.
Oh my gosh, he escaped. Yeah, it's like, he freaking escaped again. Golly, Shlomes, go to the hospital and rest. Golly.
Oh. I happen to be aware of one of two foibles of the doctor who was tending to me. I merely made knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily issued me with a leave of absence.
Oh, very above board.
But enough of my adventures. That was a fine victory, Mr. Naruto. Your tireless adventures justly rewarded, I feel.
Who doesn't... What's it been you, or is he you, one of the two? Or both. Wow.
Congratulations are in order. As a close friend, I tip my hat to you.
Oh, thank you.
Some great detective you are. Being cold as ice, baby. Have I irked you in some way, Miss Letstrade?
Well, you've been having a snooze in your soft bed. Someone's been fighting for our lives.
Ah, well, that bullet did cause me to lose a substantial amount of blood, it's true. So I've indeed been feeling somewhat cold. Not perhaps as cold as ice, but, well... have a feel.
Could you take your hands off my neck, please, Mr. Slomes?
And, in some way, I suppose, congratulations are in order for you, too, Miss Letstrade.
What's that supposed to mean? Why so sad-hearted?
Well, naturally, it isn't my intention to alarm you, but... An acquittal in trial with that particular prosecutor is perhaps a little precarious.
I don't know. Probably. Well done, Mr. Slums. Not alarming in the slightest.
Oh, the Reaper, you mean? Because anyone who's found not guilty in a trial he was working on winds up dead anyway, is that it?
The very point I'm trying to make
Is exemplified with the fate of Mr. McGill, in fact. But of course, I pay no attention to such irrational drivel myself.
Thanks, Herlock.
Yeah, well, it don't bother me.
Oh, really?
Of course not. The way I see it, the Reaper's been a bit like I'm upstairs.
Him upstairs, you mean like God? Wow, I didn't expect her to just put that. She compared Van Zeeks to God. Wow.
Yeah, him upstairs, you know what's what, right? He knows what people are like on the inside. He won't get the wrong end of the stick. There's some cuz like that bog trotter who were into the core. At the end of the day, come upstairs, make sure they get what's deserved.
I did not expect that from Gina, of all people. I suppose that's one way of looking at it. Divine justice is one thing, though. The Reaper taking matters in his own hands and claiming lives is another.
Well, I ain't like the McGill of this world, so I ain't scared. I got principles, see?
A trait in which is to be admired, Miss Lestrade. And with this much, I can get you killed easy if he wants to, so kinda. Yeah. I'm not saying she's wrong, I just not expected it out of Gina, of all people.
Oi, just give me a rest, right? As I was saying, congratulations are in order. The news of your acquittal was very welcoming news to me indeed. Let me express my heartfelt congratulations, Gina. Well,
There you are, Hurley! How long have you been here? Honestly, I went to the main entrance especially to meet you there.
Iris, my dear friend, I do apologize. But, and wait until I tell you what happened. This pair made out of fools of themselves.
What happened?
As you know, I have a pen check for disguise, and I was hiding in this room dressed as a bailiff. But these dolls didn't notice my presence at all. They had no idea. Can you imagine, Iris? Would you credit it?
I'm not sure, really.
I beg your pardon?
I'm sorry, Hurley, but you just don't have the weighty presence you seem to think you have.
Wow. That probably hurt his pride.
In fact, you really have to be careful about that. It's going to land you in trouble one day.
I'll be careful.
Ouch.
Anyway, it's such a shame. I was hoping to throw a party for Ginny tonight, but you won't be able to come, will you?
Don't look like me. I'm going to be going out nowhere for a while. You heard the judge, Patter. Got stuff to make amends for, apparently. All of them offenses. What was it again? Breaking and entering, taking the bog trotter stuff was in log, blah blah blah.
Well, yes, one is more responsible than the other. Yes, I think you'll find that basically being a pickpocket is the main offense.
But diving ain't an offense. It's a job, ain't it?
I don't think so.
Still, it got me thinking all this. Maybe I should start looking for another line of work. I mean, you didn't start off as a lawyer, did you, Otto?
Well, no. But I was never a pickpocket. Be happy she's trying to do a more honest lifestyle.
Well, anyway, I reckon I could make a change. I'm gonna do something for all of them like me from the slums, something that makes a difference for them.
That's great, Gina.
That's a wonderful idea, Ginny. I'm sure you can do it.
Oh, no.
What is it?
Aw,
Nothing.
she was crying.
Miss Gina, let's trade. The prison carriage has arrived, ma'am. Come with me to the rear gate at once.
I hope not.
Right, well, looks like I'm off then.
Yes, goodbye, Gina, and good luck.
Odo?
Yes? Why? Why? What was that for?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say, so...
So you hit me with a smoke grenade?
Ah, indeed.
Perhaps the situation calls for a phrase hitherto missing from your vocabulary, Miss Letstrade.
Eh? On occasions such as this, I would recommend a simple thank you.
Oh.
Oh, yes. It's good advice, Ginny.
That was my thank you, I guess.
Right, I see. Well...
Well, she took her hat off.
Thanks, Odo.
Oh,
Thank you for everything you've done, for believing in me.
oh. Not at all. In fact, that should be my line. Thank you, Gina. Aw. I hope she does go on a better path for her. Well, there she goes. I wonder if I'll ever see her again.
Well, quite the indomitable pickpocket.
Oh, I nearly forgot. I bought a paper outside. It's a special edition, and this trial's all over the front page. Pickpocket is proven. Isn't it wonderful?
You should have shown it to Gina, Iris. She would have been thrilled.
Oh no, how silly of me. But anyway, would you like the good news or the bad news?
What's the bad news? Ugh, not again.
Well, what do you say, Bruno? Hurley?
As usual, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first.
Absolutely not. I have no intention of listening to anything but good news.
But yeah, she'll find better work. Yeah, so hopefully after she does her time for the crime she committed, she learns to be more like Iris.
There you have it. How many people answer that question? Says a lot about them, doesn't it?
Let's not go there.
Alright then, maybe let's start with the good news this time. The rain has finally stopped. It was a record level of rainfall, apparently.
Well, that is good news indeed. We can journey back in greater comfort.
Well, even then, it's still, she's doing something for what she's done and has learned her lesson. Right then, what's the bad news?
The huge storm has left the seas very choppy. The channel is particularly awful, so sailing out of Dover has been delayed by a day or more.
Wait, Dover?
That's right. If we head to the station immediately, we may still make it in time to wave Susie off.
Wow, so she's been here this entire time, golly. But there wouldn't be a train, surely. We couldn't be that lucky.
Who do you think I am, Mr. Odo?
Mr. Slomes?
I rushed to Victoria Station early and made arrangements for a special express.
Happy New Year! To you too, Lou.
If we hurry now, we shall be there in time for dinner. And I know of a fine restaurant that serves the most delicious baked sole.
I don't... The Great Detective does it again.
Indeed he does. I happen to be aware of a number of rail transport directors' foibles.
What?
I merely made knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily laid on the locomotive. Elementary.
By Easter. Just an idea, but it might be wise to stop manipulating people that way.
What are you waiting for then? To London, Victoria.
All right, we're gonna go say bye to Sasato-san before she heads out. All right. That is a big ship. 18th of April, 5:32 a.m. Port of Dover. Quayside? I don't need to... I don't want to know. That took so much longer than I anticipated.
Susie's boat must be about to leave now.
Miss Sasato, where are you? Over there, look! Looks like she's reading something.
Hold it!
Why is she gonna throw it? Miss Sasato, wait, what are you doing?
Mr. Naruto, what are you doing here?
We came as soon as we could after the trial. I mean, we heard that sailings were being delayed due to the bad weather, you see. Wow. Don't do it if you can't. Golly.
Oh, I see. Then tell me, how did Gina's trial go?
It went well. She was acquitted.
That's wonderful. Really wonderful news.
The book you were about to throw into the sea. It was your encyclopedia of British law, wasn't it?
Oh dear, I was hoping you hadn't seen that. I'm not worthy of practicing law in any way now. So, I was saying my final farewell.
You were saying goodbye to the law? To law? You, Sasato-san? Oh, you're back. Hi, Leo. I thought you went to bed.
Would I be correct in assuming it'd be because of the peephole, Miss Sasato? I deliberately altered the scene of the crime, and then I tried to hide the fact. What I did is utterly unforgivable.
That reminds me. How did you even come to have this, Susie?
I don't know. That's what you said. You said goodbye, so I assumed you went to sleep.
On the evening of the incident, Mr. Slums had invited Gina to dinner, if you remember. Oh yes, we had a wonderful time.
Well, Gina gave me a little introductory lesson, didn't she? To the art of pickpocketing, I mean.
Oh, that was so fun! Much fun! I stole Bruno's armband!
Yes, please don't do that again, Iris. That band's very important to me. Well, that would make you one of two, apparently, in this chat.
Well, if it was so important, you should pay more attention to it. You didn't notice for ages.
On a whim, I thought it would be fun to see if I could take the cat flabbermat, so I put it in my sleeve.
Really?
And then I rather forgot about it until I found myself in Mr. Windigang's shop with it later that night.
I see. It ended with, so you know how the guild was put, like, in the omnibus on fire? So Ashley Graydon, the blonde guy, or Eggs Benedict, he caused the death. He killed Windybank and McGill. He was revenging his father's death, so he killed McGill.
And then...
Mr. Slums!
Hello, Happy New Year.
Leave me, Mr. Naruto.
Right. Right, golly.
After Mr. Naruto had left the shop, I started to think that door started to play on my mind.
The storeroom door, you mean? What the frick?
Yes, if Gina was anywhere in the shop, I realized it could be only behind that door. And at that moment, the little device that I had up my sleeve sprang to mind. I was so worried about Gina, I simply had to know.
So you used the cat flapple mat to make the peephole in the door.
captured in a photographic print of the shop by one of Hurley's red-handed recorders.
Indeed, it was one of the first importance at that point. Precisely when the peephole was made, that information would prove to be Mr. Otto's greatest weapon. Though naturally, without proof, it would have amounted to nothing.
I looked through the hole in the door. The sight that met my eyes made my blood run cold. Thoughts started running through my mind. I remembered that trial 2 months earlier.
The trial of Magnus McGill.
What about how he had manipulated the evidence and arranged false testimony to secure his freedom? It made the British justice system feel very dark and sinister to me. And then a terrible thought occurred to me. What if some wicked criminal was planning to do the same thing now? Because of the appearance of the crime scene, it would look exactly as though Gina had shot Mr. Windybank. Even though I was sure she would have never done such a thing.
You were worried that the true culprit would try to frame her for the crime?
That's right, but then I realized it would be very difficult for anyone to give false testimony in this case.
What do you mean?
Well, the crime appeared to have happened behind the door of a locked room. For someone to claim falsely to have witnessed it, there would have to be a way to see beyond the door.
For which, the peephole would be the very thing.
Only the people I had made wasn't actually there until after the crime had been committed, of course. And the criminal would know that, so it wouldn't make any difference.
But the possibility of a rather ingenious trap was there, was it not?
A trap? Is that why she did it? Wow, Susato was... Wow.
So, is that why you kept it a secret, Susie? You never mentioned that you made the people to anyone, not even to the police. I know, and I knew at the time what I was doing was wrong. A criminal offense, even. That's why I decided to confide to Mr. Sloane's. If Mr. Naruto was completely backed into a corner, with no possible means of escape, the truth about the people could save him. That was my plan.
She really does think of everything. But then, why didn't you just tell me everything before the trial began?
My dear fellow, you're not thinking straight. If she had done that, it would have rendered you complicit in the whole escapade.
Ah.
You could have been disbarred if you had been seen to have knowingly tampered with the crime scene.
No, it has not yet.
So Miss Sasato decided to shoulder the burden of the responsibility alone. For your sake and Miss Lestrade's.
Miss Sasato.
The truth is, when it happened, I did it because I'd lost a little of my faith in the law.
Oh.
I was worried that the right person would be convicted of the crime.
Leo. Golly.
Is the moment I lost my right to call myself a judicial assistant.
What you did isn't comparable to what he did. Okay, see tomorrow, I guess. Oh, boy. Graydon is the one who lied in the witness stand, using that peephole as a way to implicate Gina. And besides, if the peephole inconsistency hadn't existed, I'm not at all sure that she would have been acquitted in the end. Miss Sasato, what you did saved Gina's life.
Well, with your kind words, Mr. Naruto, you've saved me too from my regrets.
I guess. Yes, what a start to the year.
Well, we must be thankful that Miss Lestrade's freedom had been assured.
Yes, exactly. Although some of the loose ends in that trial will continue to play on my mind, I'm sure.
But the
Golly.
But the revelation that music box contained secret messages, Mr. Naruto. What a triumph to work that out, and full of admiration.
Well, actually, the argument wasn't quite as compelling as I thought it was.
Oh, it wasn't?
There was a communications officer among the jury members, you see, a telegraph operator, and she said that the majority of the sounds on the disc were just meaningless tones. As one would expect, after all, we are talking about secret government communications. No doubt they were written in cipher to avoid being readily understood. Have they been intercepted? And there you go, Natural. Slomes agrees with you. In cipher, I see. So then we could have never hoped to understand the message anyway. Nonsense, my dear fellow. It's quite a zero-pipe problem, I assure you. Okay. A. Asagoi? By the way, guys, so there's one of them. Now, do you guys remember the name? Asagoi. What?
Well, that can't be a real world, can it? How funny.
Now, do you guys remember that name? You should know this name. That's how I say it. Asagoi. Or Asugi, if you wanted to put it. Asugi. I'm just saying, you should know the name. If you guys don't know the name, I'd be surprised if you don't. They're very important.
Wait, Iris, what did you just say? Oh, I just said Asugi. Does that mean something to you?
Means something. Asugi was the name of my best friend.
What? No, how do you know that name, Iris? I wrote it down during the trial before, but the message was playing on the music box.
She transcribed it on the fly. She really is a genius.
I thought the message probably wouldn't be written out in plain Morse code, so I tried various ways to interpret it. But whatever I tried, the words just didn't seem to make any sense.
Yep. Kei Asagoi, which is... or Asugi, which is... Asugi Kazuma.
That is in English, at least. Oh. It suddenly occurred to me, you see. There's more than one Morse code, not just the English variety. Various countries around the world have altered and added to the Morse code to use it in their own language.
I don't believe it. Are you saying...
That's right. I've only actually seen a chart of Japanese Morse code once before. But I think it's based on the pentagram, isn't it?
Okay, bye. And you mean to say that in Japanese Morse code, the message says Asugi?
Yes, I think so. Sorry, but I don't remember all of the Japanese Morse code. Iris, would you let me see that?
Mrs. Sato, do you know it? Do you know Japanese Morse code?
Yes, I spent some time studying it. Because I'm quite sure Morse code will become ever more important for international communications.
Then might I recommend, my dear madam, that you focus your efforts on the English version?
Be that as it may, Iris, show me the message, please. Of course. But what could this possibly mean?
Whatever is in that long sequence of supposedly meaningless dots and dashes is made the color drain from Sato's son's face.
There's no doubt this message is written in Japanese Morse code.
So the British Empire has been using Japanese for its secret communications?
I don't understand the reason why, but the message appears to be a list of 4 people's names.
4 names?
The first is Kei Asugi.
Kazuma Asugi. Why? Why was his name on that disc?
The second is A. Shin.
Shin? I don't recognize that name.
The third is T.
Gergeson? I think it's Gergeson. Gregson? No.
Oh, it would seem Tobias Gregson is the third man on the list.
No, it is not. I guess it's Gergeson. And what's his name doing in the secret government communications as well?
And the last name?
What's the matter, Mr. Sato?
It's just so strange. So unexpected. Oh, what is it, Susie? Don't keep us in suspense.
Oh, by the way, the last name you should also know.
The last name is J. Wilson. What?
Wilson?
John H. Wilson? You mean my father? It says only J. Wilson, so I'm afraid I can't be sure. Then, after the 4 names, it reads, if I translate from Japanese, that is all 4. And that's the end of the message. Or rather, the end of what you noted down, Iris.
I can't believe it. Who would have ever thought that those discs contain Japanese Morse code? Concerning to say the least. Yes, it is. Because why is our friend's name on this disc? Not to mention a strained list of disturbingly familiar names.
It would appear that this particular message is a communication of some kind between Great Britain and the Empire of Japan.
So father could be in Japan then, where Susie and Runo come from.
Yeah, we haven't told her about her father's untimely demise, by the way. You know, the one from the first case.
Oh, well. No, it's not very likely, really, is it?
But yet, also 2 of those people are supposed to be dead. Well, one is dead, for a fact.
The other one? I mean, there are thousands of people with the surname Wilson, and there's just a lot of J's among them.
Professor John H. Wilson, visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University. We can't tell Iris about that now. We just can't. You know, just not telling her that her father is not alive anymore. Just keeping that from her. That's not an issue at all. This is so strange. Somehow in solving the case of Mr. Windybank's murder today, I feel like I've rolled back a boulder at the mouth of a very dark cave. Understand anything? Yes, understand everything. Okay.
You wonder if perhaps it's the dark cave that we shouldn't go wandering inside.
I think you'll end up falling into it without your things. Oh my goodness. It's time for Susato to go home to help with her father.
Oh dear, the ship is going to set sail soon.
Yes, it seems so.
I'll sail on that steamship first to the port of Dunkirk in France. Then I'll change onto a larger passenger vessel bound for Japan. You're really going then, Susie?
Wish you a safe passage, Mr. Sato.
Thank you so much.
I wish all of you the very best.
Miss Sato, I hope to have you always at my side, to guide me and support me.
Mr. Naruto.
Please, come back soon. Oh, you've been there? So as far as I'm concerned, you really are the very best judicial assistant in the world. Aww.
I'm quite sure I'll be back before you know it.
Really, Susie?
Oh, now don't forget, Iris. I made you a promise I've yet to fulfill.
A promise?
About your manuscript.
Huh.
Oh yes, the Hound of the Bakersvilles.
Well, I'll be waiting for you then, Susie. A promise is a promise.
Which, by the way, we still don't know how she knew about the title.
Definitely, Iris.
Live when I get Dr. Never ask her good questions. Oh boy.
Mr. Naruto,
Yes?
do you remember the first time we met?
Yes, of course. On the SS Bureau when I was dragged out from that wardrobe still half asleep. If I remember rightly, you threw me halfway across the cabin with a Susato takedown.
You know very well what I'm talking about after that. It's strange, but being thrown together as we were in that case somehow felt straight away that you were the perfect person to continue Cosmo-sama's great legacy.
Probably not. Mrs. Sato.
And my instincts were right. I really want to believe. No, I'm sure of that. I'll be back soon. Farewell until then.
It would be nice. It'd be cool. I think they'd be a very nice relationship. They get along very well. Alright, we gotta say goodbye to Susato. Very close to the city, close to England, where the tunnels under the sea is located. So it makes sense of why
Somehow
the
we
boat is
seem to have come
stopping
to
there.
the end of the adventures of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Or the first volume, at least.
Aw, and the cat's here.
Looking back
Bye!
now,
We'll see you later,
It feels as though
Susato.
fate has led me on this journey.
Aw.
Fate led me to becoming a lawyer,
Yep.
traveling halfway around the world, to meeting the great detective.
Yeesh. Don't
I'm
think you
sure
expected
there'll be
that.
trials and tribulations ahead. Of course there will.
He said the thing! He said the thing!
But whatever happens, I know I'll be able to turn
No.
my fortunes around.
Oh, and he's playing...
After all, I have the greatest friends in the world on my side.
Yeah, he said the thing that his descendant will be in trials and tribulations. Ha! He said it. He said the thing. He said it. Oh, hello.
Ah, yes, Mr. Naruto.
Yes, Mr. Slomes?
I have something rather awkward news.
Why? Why?
The railway company has decided to sue over
The Special Express train, apparently. What the frick? Huh?
Such a commotion on the line, and all the other trains had to wait at stations.
But really, we would have never made it to Dover in time otherwise. Anyway, I explained everything as how it was all your fault.
Well, great. Huh? Huh?
I believe a formal complaint should be delivered to your office tomorrow. But not to worry, my dear fellow. According to Mr. Sato,
You love defending yourself in court.
No, I don't. Huh? Huh? Huh?
It's alright, I'm perfectly happy to testify. He really didn't look like the sort of man who'd do something so outrageous. See?
Oh, no. Mr. Slomes.
yes?
A word, if you don't mind.
Well, certainly, any word you'd like. Spell it out, my dear fellow.
Oh yes, I love Frono's words, and I just know the one he'll use here.
Then, I really must say...
Objection!
Yay! We have completed it. Thank you for making a great game. This was really fun. Now we just have the second one to get through.
In the following weeks, hundreds of music boxes arrived at Baker Street from all over Europe. Something was afoot, though it transpired I had ordered them all myself. So I'd have advertised them for sale with, used by Mr. Slomes to solve an important case. And the money I earned consulting detective work pays a pittance by comparison.
Well, duh. What did you expect? Herlock. But still, I saw it was great except for that one case. Yeah.
I haven't slept a wink. This manuscript is due tomorrow. When I'm this busy, Harley usually cooks me breakfast. Well, cooks is an overstatement. For some dry toast and instant coffee. I do miss Susie and her lovely Japanese breakfast.
Oh, poor Iris. Well, that was one. She was talking about the one on the boat. This one in the music was at the end of the park. Oh boy.
Wait and see your testimony. Is riddled with contradictions.
Exactly.
Rarely do Koban coins hide under rare stakes themselves.
Well, I don't know, son. Knows his father's an innocent man. Are you calling my son a lawyer?
Witnesses, my court is no place for your petty arguments. Yeah, they did great.
Having delivered the Russian dancer to a shore in Shanghai, I laid low on the steamship for a while. But last night I apprehended an extremely suspicious Japanese national on board.
I've done nothing wrong. All I did was give Waga High's offspring refuge in my pocket. A man brings a kitten on board and suddenly he's a hardened criminal. It's not fair.
Oh, poor guy. This poor guy. Can't get a break.
Scientific investigation will be the gold standard for policing in the new age.
I dreamt of a world governed by the tenets of order and discipline, like a great clock, in fact, whose hundreds of parts meshed together in perfect unison. Yes, he was.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have but 2 minutes and 37 seconds till my next appointment.
Our Chief Justice was something interesting, I will say. I think I found my favorite video game composer. Well, means maybe you should see what else that they have done.
The latest Rancid magazine is out and I'm in it again. Whenever I say that one line she wrote now, I get a standing ovation. Want to hear it? Not bad, I suppose, for an amateur.
Ha! And he's drinking the tea Iris made.
Her ladyship puts me to shame.
I love that. I love that sprite. It's so beautiful. I love Gregson's sprite with him holding the tea. They made really good characters.
Been visiting the old girl on a daily basis, of course. Joni, my old jailbird. Must say, battling with those bally stairs every day has done wonders for the peg. Managing rather well with the housework, too. Got this maid business tapped up, I say. When the gossiping neighbors don't realize the man of the house is his own maid.
Well, that's great that he's doing, like, his leg is doing good and he's learned to cook and clean for himself and goes to visit his wife daily, which is great.
Rowley's back on the beat again, all thanks to the Reaper.
There's nothing I don't enjoy more the days than hunting out small changes in the gutter. I have a better Bobby now, looking out for Londoners. They're dropping hot pennies in my lovely wife.
Oh,
Pat.
oh, Rowley.
Oh, bother. Well, that's good. He was able to, him and his wife, he was able to get his job. back and got to be with his wife. Hi, Gina.
Looks like I'm gonna be doing time for a bit now. But Iris came every day for a natter, so it ain't too boring. She's always going on about all them cases what Slums is looking into. Criminal investigations are kind of interesting when you get into them.
Oh boy, I think she's gonna be a detective in the future. I can see her doing that. I can see Gina doing that. Yes, she committed perjury in court because she lied in her testimony. Yes, I renounced my upbringing and chose a life of sophisticated crime. But regrets? Please.
Over here, bruv. That ain't the Ash we used to know.
We got time in here to plan the comeback of Milverton and Skulk and Milkwood, right? The three Muskerwoods? Milking the neighborhood for all its woof.
There you go. You got to see. Look, that was cute. That would suit her. Yeah. It'd be really cool to see her as a detective. But, so they're all in together. The last case really put a lot of people in prison, golly.
This past 6 months has been a time I shall remember forevermore. Painful goodbyes and wonderful encounters. I've come to realize that's what life is all about. Naruto-san, I promise. Your assistant will return to you one day. But for now, I leave you with many memories and a heartfelt wish that life will treat you well.
Aw. Yeah, they're together again. What do you mean she did nothing wrong? She broke into a place that wasn't her own. She tried to take items that weren't hers. Oh, look at that! Look at that picture! Look at it! Look! Oh, freaking leaning over, squished cheek. That's so cute. I love this. Look at it! It's so cute! That was adorable. Hi, Cosmo. What the frick? Huh? Oh. Oh, thank you, voice actors. You gave them really good voices. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love the people who play Winston, the Payne family. They deserve all the standing ovation. I am not kidding. Who can make a better Payne voice than them? It's beautiful. Oh look, it's the paint in the side over there. Yeah, they did great. Did all good. Nothing but memorable, I guess. Okay. I'm thankful for that, but I think they did great. I like... Oh, I'm in the way a bit. There's a... There you go. Oh, look, it's the two... Look, it's everyone's favorite chapter. So I guess we're going through the chapters, the characters by chapters. Everyone's favorite chapter. Look, it's the guy with the snake. Golly. Everyone's favorite chapter, chapter 2. Oh, and then he stops because of what happened. Golly. How Cosmo was allegedly killed was an accident and a whole thing. It just was. If you want to go back and watch it, it explains why. There's a lot. And then Sasato comes with us on the journey. Oh, well, he's stopping there. Come back. Oh, look, there, here they come. Well, Kazuma is coming back. Since we made it to the end, all I can say is yes, Kazuma is alive. How? I won't say how, but Kazuma is around. Then we got to chapter 3. We got to meet the Lord Chief Justice. This was the frickin' omnibus case. You want him back now? Spoilers, I knew. Well, it's just, I said it during that chapter because everyone was really annoyed with it. He's a zombie. I don't know about that. Magnus McGill was an interesting character. I will say, I did not expect him to be such a big pinnacle point in multiple cases. And then we met our friend, Herlock Shlomes. Well, back in the one, but you know. Oh, and then he joins us on the journey. It's one of those Chinese hopping vampires now. I don't know about that. And Gregson. I still love Joan, can still hold her husband up just all on her own. It's beautiful. We didn't see McGill go in a blaze of glory. Well, we kind of did, but not on the images, yes. Oh, he had the... I didn't know... Wow, I didn't know he wore those shoes. Huh. Interesting. Is it Zhongxi? Zhongxi? Oh, look, everyone's favorite image of frickin' Van Zeeks. He really loves putting his foot on the frickin' desk. It needs to be cleaned so many times because of him. The 3 Skulkin brothers. Okay, now I guess it now makes sense why they pose like that. And then Gina. Oh boy. Bye, Gina. Bum. 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 Free Gina. You're doing that? Golly. Anyway. This is a very cute credit scene. It's very cute. Might as well, they're 3D models, might as well use them. I love all the different walking speeds. What poses to make? Oh my gosh. They both did the snap. Did it? Rarely see them full body. That is true. So it's really nice to see them actually in like full body. All right. Now on to the second game. For completing episode 5. Isn't that a beautiful picture? Of Kazuma and Ryunosuke. It's a very beautiful picture. Alright. Are you guys ready for the second game? I need that pic. You can go online, it's on there. Put it as your background. It's a really nice picture. But here we go. Chapter 1.
Standing here in the bright sunshine, looking out over the vast ocean. Those days in London seem like a dream. But I do miss my time in England's vast capital.
How long have you been away from England, Susato?
You know, he's flourished into a truly wonderful lawyer.
Oh, that's good. How long has it
I've
time
no
passed?
doubt that at this very moment, he's fighting
35
some
years,
noble
34
cause in
years.
court.
My gosh. And at the end of Stranger Act to the Ring trailer? Maybe. Well, I guess we'll see. Who knows?
Forgive me for taking so long to come to visit you. My life has been such a whirlwind since I returned.
Is this her father or is this her mother?
And no one could have predicted what has happened. Just 2 months
And say a year.
after arriving home.
2 months, apparently. I find myself faced with another awful crime. What? Huh? It's her! It's her! Her!
So I came here today to ask something of you. Tomorrow, I shall be standing in court
What?
for the only time in my life as a lawyer.
What? So Sato's gonna be a lawyer and oh my,
So please, I ask for your guidance.
what?
Kazuma-sama,
It's Kazuma's grave. She's a lawyer. Oh my gosh. Wow. Episode 1, The Adventure of the Blossoming Attorney. Wow. I did not expect that. Yeah, what a start. The frickin' Swan Lady from the first game, who was the murderer of John H. Wilson, is now been murdered. Wow. 13th of August, 8:26 a.m., Supreme Court of Judicia, Defendants Antechamber 3. Here I am again after 9 months, the Supreme Court of Judicia of Japan. I feel so nervous, but I must steel my nerves and find a way to compose myself. Yeah. Okay, he's fine, that's good. Her father's okay. Good you're here. It doesn't do for a lawyer to be late. Oh, yes, good morning, sir. Hardly recognize you. You cut a fine figure, counsel. But you look as white as a sheet, and those wide eyes aren't doing you any favors either. Yeah, it was like, wow. The truth is, I'm so incredibly nervous, I feel utterly nauseated. I almost wish that I'd never been... Wow. Well, that makes sense, you're nervous. So, is this like a... It's almost like... Oh my gosh. Brain is like, Mia. It's like Mia. All over. It's like dealing, Mia, who was dealing with her trial and she felt first time being in trial and she was nervous as all get out. Goodness, not the sort of thing a father hopes to hear from his daughter, I must say. Yujin Mikotoba, a professor of medicine at Imperial Yume University. A man who earlier in his life traveled to Great Britain to study the latest advances in forensic medical science. By the way, I'm doing my regular voice for Susato until we switch to Ryunosuke, because, yeah. I guess that's a good thing? And of course, my brilliant father. Excuse me. Hello. Would I be correct in thinking that you're to be my lawyer in court today? Yes. Yes, that's right, miss. Well, I want to thank you for agreeing to represent me. I swear on my life. It's a complete fabrication, this whole thing. I'm just wondering, why would she kill the Swan Lady? Ray Membami? Born the same year as I and my greatest friend. Oh, great. Wow, this really is just like Kazuma and Ryunosuke. We're defending our best friend in court. Though unusual for a woman of our time, she works at a university research laboratory helping my father. Oh, well, good for her. Push the boundaries. And sadly, she's the defendant in today's trial, accused of committing a truly awful murder. Are you feeling alright? Since we started talking, you seem, well, to have become a little flushed. Oh my, it's just that you look so gallant and dashing. Sorry? And when I fall under your intense gaze, it makes me rather bashful. Yeah, it's like, go! Do the research, Ray. Keep going. Show them who's boss. Show them that you're an equal. Goodness, I don't think she knows. She hasn't realized who I am. It would seem our little plan for this trial is going to work. Oh, what do you mean, Professor Mikotoba? even your best friend can't see through the disguise. I think we can relax.
Disguise?
Yes, I've never tried dressing this way before, of course, so I wasn't sure how convincing it would be. But this does make me feel a little relieved, as you say, Father.
Father? What? Is that you, Susato?
I'm so sorry I didn't say something sooner, Ray. It's just that...
No! What are you doing? What's going on? What? That varsity uniform, that varsity cap, that varsity cape, that varsity badge. Look at you. You look, for all the world, just like a student of the Imperial Yuma University, a male student.
She's dressed up as a boy. I'm so glad you think so. It means all my preparations have been worthwhile. I woke at 4 this morning to make a start.
But I don't understand. Why are you dressed like that?
Well, you see...
It was the only way. The only way she would be permitted into the Supreme Court to take on your defense in this trial.
Oh, she had to dress as a boy to defend someone as an attorney, even though she has all the credentials. She has to dress as a boy. Okay.
My defense?
Oh boy. Never before in my life have I felt so frustrated at having been born in this body. Courts in Japan are barred to women. We're not even allowed to set foot inside the courtroom, despite the fact that the laws of the land apply to all people, male and female alike. I guess not.
But women are forbidden.
Just for today, I'll be leaving my true self at the courtroom door, so that I can act as your lawyer.
Oh, Susato, you'd go to such lengths for me?
Of course, you're my greatest friend. I'm just worried that I shan't be the lawyer you deserve.
Oh no, I have complete faith in you.
Ray. She may be allowed to learn but not practice in Japan. Yeah, which just sucks.
It's so strange, though. I mean, you're such an accomplished judicial assistant already, and yet just because you're a woman... What a wretched reason.
I agree. She knows the law better than some of the frickin' lawyers in there, and she can't practice because she's a woman. What the frick logic is that?
I mean, why shouldn't we be allowed in the courtroom? Why shouldn't you be allowed in the courtroom? You're so gallant and dashing.
Ray, please don't look at me like that, with those flushed cheeks and doting eyes.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just... You really do look so dashing.
Yes, you mentioned that once or twice. Does someone have a crush?
You should be pleased. It means you look convincing as a man.
I am pleased, I think. It certainly helped to bolster my confidence today.
Ray,
you're managing to put on a brave face in all this, but I can see through it. I noticed how your shoulders are slumped and how you're trembling ever so slightly.
Susato, you do believe me, don't you? I didn't do it. I couldn't have. I mean, murder?
Of course. You have nothing to worry about. Your conscience is perfectly clean. Isn't that right?
Yes it is. Perfectly clean.
I have absolutely no doubt in my mind about your innocence, which is why I'll stand by you until the bitter end in this trial. Whatever happens, I'll always be on your side. Because that's what it means to be a defense lawyer.
That means so much to me, Susato.
Aww. Defendant, counsel, court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. Okay.
you should go in at once, Ray. If you're late, the judge won't hesitate to pronounce you guilty.
What do you mean?
Oh, stand aside.
I don't think I've ever seen her run so fast.
Well, Susato, you certainly surprised your father. going to such lengths to be admitted into the courtroom with no prior experience of being a lawyer.
There was simply no other way. That's all there is to it. But, Father, you haven't told her, have you? I mean, I'm right in assuming that Ray doesn't know how it came to this?
Yes, quite right. I've kept that information from her.
What the frick happened? Is it because she's... Is it a similar situation to, Ryunosuke because it is...
Thank you, Capcom. Oh, boy.
So, is it because it is someone who is an international student who's quote-unquote a, whatever it's called?
Would only worry her if she found out that no other lawyer would agree to take her case. I didn't want to burden her with that.
And is that true? The reason why every other lawyer is refusing to take the case? Is it really because of who the victim was?
Probably. We should be making a move now. As you know, law isn't my field, but I'll do what I can to support my student.
Thank you, Father. Alright. I'm Sasato Mikotoba, a judicial assistant. 8 months ago, I accompanied a student of law on a study trip to Great Britain. But 2 months ago, due to unforeseen circumstances, I found myself back in Japan. How many times have I wished that he were here? I wonder. Still, I have no choice now but to steel myself for the trial ahead. Wish me luck, Naruto-san. Alright, into the courtroom we go! Yeah, do you like the outfits? I can change them to their original ones, but I like these... these outfits are for the second one. Second game, I can change their outfits. 13th of August, 9 a.m., Supreme Court of Judicia, Courtroom 1. Now this I'm used to. Oh look, it's the Pain Ancestor! This court is now in session to hear the trial of Ray... Mama B. No, these ones are way better. I like the first, these have a lot going on. Yeah.
The prosecution is ready to proceed, Your Excellency.
And as you can see, the outfits, I like these ones are way better. So you like these second outfits?
Defense counsel, are you ready? Yes, Your Excellency, we are ready.
Ready?
She's so nervous. Yeah, she still looks feminine, but I guess because it's an outfit typically not used by them. She's missing a katana. Yeah.
Yes, counsel.
According to your registration details, your name is, Ryutaro Naruto, is that correct? Ryutaro, sorry?
Oh yes, I had to come up with a suitable male name for you for this little venture. So I'm afraid to say something went down the first name that sprung to mind.
Wow. I hope Ryunosuke doesn't come back home and wonders who Ryutaro is. That'd be an explanation and a story for another day. Well, counsel? Yes, that's right. That's me. Yes, I'm Ryutaro. He who has vowed to uphold the pride of the great Naruto clan.
Seems Ryutaro may need to consider how better to uphold his manly act first and not overdo it.
Yep.
And those wild-eyed eyes aren't doing you any favors either. Just relax and listen.
Naruto? A fresh face in this courtroom, if I'm not mistaken. But the name Naruto, would that perchance be...
You may be thinking of Ryunosuke Naruto, currently in Britain as part of the study program. This is,
his cousin.
That's right. Ryutaro here has been studying in the provinces, but was called to the capital for this trial.
Look at them arguing in court till it stops being tense and realize it's Sasato. Yep.
I assure you, in matters of law, his knowledge rivals that of any of Tokyo's preeminent lawyers.
Any of them.
Tut tut tut. What a pitiful situation. Having been rejected by every lawyer in the capital, the accused has had to call in a country boy.
How dare you? Oh no, Sasato is
Every bit as gallant and dashing as any of your Tokyo attorneys. I won't have you making fun of her.
Shush, Ray.
Her? Oh, her.
Please be careful, Ray.
Tut 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 tut, huh? What an unrefined country boy we have here.
I have no idea how they think Sasato looks like a guy. I don't know. Maybe because of the dress that she is wearing? You have to remember that this is Japan, and they're wearing more traditional Japanese clothes, so if she's wearing this type of more tight-fitted outfit, she probably is considered more, quote-unquote, manly. Yeah, tomboy.
I wonder, is your gallant and dashing lawyer up to the challenge of defending you? His wise, skittish eyes very much suggest that he is not.
Ugh, I'm so nervous. People are weird. Yes, yes, they are. Now that I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand what Naruto-san goes through. Yeah, but if they've never seen a woman in their like a woman without clothes their entire life, or tight-fitted clothes all their life, I don't think they know what a woman looks like. They might just think that she's very... They might just think he's very toned. Like it or not, eyes are wont to flit. Yeah, she has a chest. But, you know... Are we even going to try to figure out the logistics of it? European style, and they believed. Yep. Those for sure. Well, somehow he has children. Don't know how. The case is to be heard on this day is a matter of great significance to our national interests. In fact, it would be reasonable to assume that the outcome of this trial may well affect the very future of our empire.
Just like the trial 9 months ago. And yet, for proceedings of such importance, we have this unknown yokel by the dock. Dear me.
Perhaps this would be an appropriate moment for me to assess the defense.
From another branch of the family, to be honest. Do you think so? We're Patmos in Europe? Maybe. Mitosis. To determine whether you're sufficiently competent to practice in this courtroom.
9 months ago, when a certain other Naruto stood where you are now. This same judge tested him as well. And even though he was just a student at the time, not even of law, he passed the test with flying colors.
I guess. Yeah, probably not.
For a trained and experienced judicial assistant like you, this will be easy. So, counsel, do you consent to answering some simple questions?
Oh, I also think the other thing is that typically women don't show as much skin. So her showing this much skin, they probably could never think that it was a Japanese woman. He has an excuse. Like, this is a lot of skin. Of their hair and plant them to grow family members. That's why they are all bald. Oh, I love that. But yeah, I'm assuming because of how much skin exposure she has, they could never thought a woman having that much are an unknowable mystery. Yep. Yep. Oh, she did the same thing as him. Yes, Your Excellency, but please do make them simple. Very well, to start with, you will state the name of the victim.
Phew, this is simple. I won't forget even if I tried. What's the matter? What's the matter?
Now that I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand something else Naruto-san goes through. Men wore makeup as a sign of wealth and wore their hair down and quite long. Yeah, that's as well. Like, so the hair can easily be assumed. And like I said, the skin exposure, the tight clothes, the long hair. There's easy ways to get around, I think, back then with this. Like it or not, mines are wont to blink.
It's not surprising, really. It's your first time in this position, and in that guise. Even a bright spark like you is bound to flicker and falter a little under circumstances.
Oh dear, this is a dismal failure.
Don't fret. You need only use the knowledge you've gained as a judicial assistant to overcome the problem.
Of course, the court record. Yes, the answer will be amongst all the key information about the case in the court record.
That's right. Just use E to open the court record. Then you need to flip to the people section with E, and don't talk too long or take too long, or his excellency is watching you closely.
Alright, check the court record with E. That's where the information will be.
I'm waiting, counsel.
What is the name of the victim in this case? It's Jezebel Britt. I know that for a fact. Time of death after 2 p.m. Death is believed to be due to trauma to the victim's lung from a knife blade. Only a single wound was found. Did she get poisoned just like what she did to Wilson? That would be ironic.
Yes!
Well, I think they're both true. The name of the victim who lost her life in this case is Miss Jezebel Britt. Which I feel less pity for.
Jezebel Britt. A name that will never be forgotten in the courtrooms of our country, I'm sure.
Correct. And being a member of our empire's judiciary, you'll be well aware of the significance of that name. Yeah, press E to interact with something.
So, let me pose another simple question. As you know, Miss Britt was a visiting student from the Empire of Great Britain. Why, then, is her name indelibly associated with our empire's judicial history?
Because she was a jerk that murdered a poor professor in cold blood because she was a jerk.
Obviously, you wouldn't have forgotten the case from 9 months ago. But if it's proving hard to recall the finer points, everything is needed and is included in the court record.
Well, she's the one who wanted to save her friend in court. This was the only way to do it, though. Obviously, I still remember. That was the start of everything. Jezebel Britt. Behind that woman's student persona was the face of a killer.
Yes!
9 months ago, a visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Yume University was killed, and the culprit was Jezebel Britt.
Yes, she was a killer. At the time, our country had just signed a new treaty with the Empire of Great Britain, and it was in the midst of this delicate and diplomatic situation that the incident occurred.
Yeah, isn't it cute? She has a really cute outfit on.
An Englishman, Dr. John H. Wilson, was shot dead. I believe he was an associate of yours, Mikotoba? Yes, I was indebted to the man. He'd been my mentor when I went to London to study forensic medicine. Indeed, it was I who invited him here to Japan as a visiting professor at the university. Naturally, the murder of an Englishman on our soil was the matter the government wished to resolve rapidly.
Indeed it was. Why, it was certainly a secret trial conducted here at the Supreme Court. And I felt like that would suit you really well. Yeah, it's very cute.
His heart shapes.
Well, I think Dio just is a narcissist that loves himself a lot, so that's why he has hearts. But yeah, I think it's a cute outfit. Definitely something I wouldn't mind having as an outfit idea. A student of the Imperial Yume University was arrested on suspicion of murder. A second-year English student by the name of Ryunosuke Naruto. Well, he went from English to law. With the help of his best friend, a student lawyer, the accused conducted his own defense and exposed the despicable crime committed by Miss Jezebel Britt. called karma.
Miss Britt eventually admitted to her crime. However, when questioned about the motive that drove her to take Dr. Wilson's life, she gave no satisfactory answer before the trial reached its conclusion.
Not... Well, I wouldn't even mind trying to have, like, a male form. Would be interesting to try. But I'd have to think really hard about that.
Immediately after the trial, the British government brought consular jurisdiction into play. We were unable to sentence Miss Britt according to our empire's laws. It was decided that she would be removed to Shanghai, China, instead.
Then how the frick did she come back here? Gentleman suit? Oh, that would be kind of cool to have, like, a nice suit. That'd be kind of cool. Why Shanghai?
There's a British consular court there. Correct, I oversaw the negations personally.
Oh boy. Tuxedo. Oh boy, I guess everyone really likes the idea. The date of her transfer to Shanghai was finally settled upon only last... So she's been here for 9 months, and last week was when you finally settled on her going to Shanghai.
All that remained of her empire's obligations was to see the woman safely on board a steamship.
Full body-plated armor.
And yet, the very day before her departure, the Englishwoman was killed.
Only the day before? But once again, what does this have to do with Ray?
This will do. I'm satisfied with the counsel for the defense is sufficiently capable of representing the defendant.
Oh. Yeah, it was karma, wasn't it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Over the first hurdle. Now a summary of the incident, if you please. Prosecutor Uchi. Here we go.
As is your wish, Your Excellency. The repugnant crime took place on the 11th of August in broad daylight. On the outskirts of the imperial capital, under a bright blue sky at a secluded bathing spot by the sea. The incident occurred inside a small beach hut, erected for bathers to rest or change their clothes.
Really?
The cause of death was a sickle stab wound to the posterior abdomen that pierced the victim's lung, an injury which proved fatal.
Interesting.
There were two persons alone together in the beach hut at the time of the victim's death. Miss Britt, in her bathing attire, and the accused, Ray Mabami. Accordingly, there can be no doubt of the accused's crime, especially when we consider she has a powerful motive. The police arrived rapidly at the scene and promptly arrested the young lady.
Yeah, she was holding a pen. I don't feel pity for her. I'm sorry, I don't. But I still don't think someone should commit murder.
Well, that extraordinary description of events leaves me somewhat lost for words, I must say.
That's certainly true.
The prosecution summary was full of words that raised an awful lot of questions.
I have a cough drop in my mouth. As a lawyer, I ought to pick up the prosecution counsel on what he said about powerful motive. You're clearly exaggerating. Powerful motive is a blatant overstatement.
Tut. Is the yokel boy using long words he doesn't fully understand?
No, just allergies. Changing weather makes me not be able to talk properly. Well, not talk properly. Just have a hard time talking for long periods of time. I beg your pardon? Oh my god. No, I did not. It's called allergies. There's a difference. I am not sick. I am not sick. Changing gears makes her sick.
No matter. Let's put this to the accused, shall we? Mabami's son, You are a research assistant at Imperial Yume University, I believe.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I am. I'm working with Professor Mikotoba in his laboratory at the moment.
I can confirm that the defendant is an excellent assistant with a strong sense of responsibility.
Fascinating to hear. Now, another question. Prior to your work with Professor Mikotoba, whose research were you assisting then?
Are you saying she was helping Jezebel Britz with her research?
Oh, well, I was studying under Dr. John H. Wilson.
Oh. Dr. Wilson? Yes, what is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? The visiting professor, English professor, was murdered by Miss Britt 9 months ago? I don't really have an opinion. I guess it just depends on as long as it follows the laws. And if someone wants to... That's what they want to do. That's what they want to do.
The accused has a deep-seated respect for her former mentor, Miss Dr. Wilson. Is that not true?
Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Wilson was a wonderful man.
That doesn't mean she would murder someone.
Interesting. Then tell the crowd what deep-seated feelings you had towards the English woman who killed him.
Making her for the focus, golly.
Well, obviously I was filled with hatred for what she's done. A powerful hatred.
You're not helping yourself, Ray. No, oh no, Ray, be careful what you're saying.
Oh boy.
The motive was revenge. Plain and simple, Your Excellency.
Great. Well, it was clearly a trap all along.
How wicked of him to use Ray's undying respect for her former mentor against her like that. I must find out more details on something we can use to bolster our defense. As a lawyer, I really ought to pick up the prosecution counsel on what he said about being alone together. Mabambi-san?
Yes, what is it, Naruto-san?
I'm really starting to wish we'd made my alias Rentaro Sasato. Please tell the court why exactly you were present at the bathing spot with the victim in the first place, and why you were alone with her.
Oh, well, no, that's not true. It wasn't like that at all.
There were other people present, a detective who was guarding Miss Britt for starters. I was just asked to accompany Miss Britt as a companion, that's all.
Served. Oh! It is a crime because murder should not be committed. I don't feel pity for Jezebel Britt, but someone should not murder someone.
But let's be clear. At the moment of her death, you were alone together with the victim in the hut. You and no one else. The truth is, there's only one reason why this young lady accompanied Miss Britt on her bathing sojourn. It was the accused's last chance to take the victim's life.
No!
Because, as we know, the following day we would see Miss Britt extradited to the British authorities in Shanghai.
No, they are not made to be broken. Just because the trailblazer from Honkai Star Rail says something, that doesn't actually mean that.
And the accused would never have an opportunity to dispatch her again.
Kindly refrain from conjecture, counsel.
Huh.
The prosecution counsel seems to be enjoy using provocative tricks like that. Oh my god. But for now, at least we need to assemble more facts. Try not to let him goad you. Oh dear, this is really terrifying, but Father's right, we need more information. As a lawyer, I really ought to pick up the prosecution counsel on what he said about bathing spot. Alright. If I may, Prosecutor Ochi.
What do you want, you fresh-faced young yokel student?
I wonder, could you explain, please? You mentioned a bathing spot.
My apologies. Clearly my modernity has confused this poor country bumpkin simple mind.
No, I have not.
Bathing spots are a very latest trend in health practices from the West. We are told that bathing in the water of the ocean is curative, therapeutic, and excellent for the skins.
No, that's not what I meant. I was referring to the fact that Miss Britt had, to all intents and purposes, have been found guilty of murder. Why would a known criminal have been relaxing by the sea?
For old time's sake, I believe.
Sorry?
Miss Britt was to depart for Shanghai the following day. Her final wish, as it were, was to enjoy a day on our country's wonderful coast.
Oh my god. So there, I forgot. Her bed. Not done any of that.
And the British embassy put extreme pressure on our government to comply.
But on what grounds would we agree to such a request? Because, as usual, our government is unable to stand up to foreign powers. In matters of diplomacy, it seems we don't even have the courage to decline the whims of a known criminal.
Don't look at me, Professor. It was the government who granted permission, not I. In any case, it was decided that with a dedicated detective on duty, nothing could go wrong.
Well, obviously it did. But in fact, murder took place.
I said don't look at me. It was that young student girl who did it, not I.
Nope. I have not. No one has proved that yet. I wouldn't provoke that man if you don't need to. Oh my gosh, my eye! I believe we all have a clear picture of the incident now. Despite her guilt being determined 9 months ago, Miss Britt managed to avoid incarceration instead of continuing her research work at the university. Obviously, over that period, she and Ray would have encountered each other on a number of occasions. Seeing the murderer of the mentor whom she had such great respect enjoying such undeserved liberty. Yes, even if it was only temporary until Miss Britt extraction to Shanghai. You could hardly blame Ray for feeling of anger and resentment. Yep, not one. Poor Ray.
So, Your Excellency, if you'd be so kind as to pursue this exhibit. A photographic print that shows the scene of the crime immediately following the grim incident.
We still have not gotten color, you mother trucker. Yes, thank you, Counsel. A tragic image. We still don't see her face, even in death. I just wonder if she died from poison. But probably not.
As you can see, there's nowhere within the hut that anyone could have hidden.
The court will accept this photograph for print as evidence. A photograph or print of the scene taken by the police just after the incident occurred. The stab wound in the victim's back is clearly visible. Coloring is hard. Golly. As I understand it then, the victim and the defendant were alone inside the beach hut at the time. This is deeply troubling, I must say. The finger of guilt points firmly at the defendant.
Well, Your Excellency, naturally the prosecution has much more to its case. We intend to prove the accused's appalling actions beyond all possible contention. To that extent, I can confirm that we have multiple witnesses to the crime and damning evidence.
Witnesses? But who? Is it the detective?
One of whom I might add is highly respected police detective.
Is it freaking who I think it is?
I assure you, the testimony of these witnesses will leave no room for doubt.
Ugh. Is it a detective that I think it is? Is it Hosonoga? Very well then, counsel. Bring forth your witnesses.
Hi, Takasushi Ochi. Have been waiting for this moment.
Sorry?
Oh yes, I haven't forgotten. That trial 9 months ago, here in this very courthouse. When that irreverent little student boy utterly humiliated me.
Oh wow, the Payton family's grudges run deep. Oh, his hair's different.
Inosuke Naruto.
Yes?
The insult to the Ochi family name will never be forgotten.
You've become conceited with age, counsel, but the old have to stand aside with make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Oh yeah, you cut his ponytail. I forgot Kazuma did that. Different head, but still bold. Yep.
Strike the head of a samurai whose topna had been cut and the bell of culture enlightenment tolls. Yes, on that fateful day, my former self died.
Start of your own mini Meiji revolution. Are you modernizing as well, counsel?
Silence! Since I swore revenge back then, there has been a minor miracle atop my head. Observe the Ochi growth. You see the seed of hope spreading forth from the barren spans of my crown.
I think that tiny growth is trying to tell me something. Yeah, he actually grew back some hair. The poor dude. He's the only... I think he's one of the few that actually... Pain members that actually has hair kind of in the middle of his head.
I'm afraid I can't really see. Where's the hope exactly?
I said silence! Today, I face another yokel student of the Naruto clan. Well, I will vanquish you. And my victory will be fertilizer for the seed of hope atop my head. You've been warned.
Is that thing gonna just fall off when I win?
With that, the prosecution calls the witnesses to the stand.
Looks like the stakes are higher on both sides in this trial. Is he 25? No, he's 52.
What do you mean?
He's 52. She's 25, and she's 16. He's 52. His hair with a mouse. Oh boy. Haircut is hardly comparable to Ray's life. It was Hosonoga. Oh my gosh, it's you two?
Witnesses, please state your name and occupations for the court.
Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonoga, Imperial Police Bureau. I'm in disguise, obviously, so I can go undetected. He's got a little turtle on his head. Oh boy. A dime.
Well, the next big thing of books. An author renowned throughout the capital, in fact. Yes. Soon to be sold. The satirical I Am a Cat. A sensational success by Soseki Natsume. Who the frick is this?
Oh my goodness.
Struggling student for the provinces. Please, you need be in awe of me.
I needn't?
It's only natural that you feel nervous in my presence. But of you, please relax. Call me Soseki, even.
Yes. What on earth is Soseki-san doing here? Tread carefully, Susato. That author fellow knows you from your time in London, doesn't he? He exposes you for who you really are. This will really be over before it's begun. He grew an ego. Yes, he did. In the span of at least 3 months. Yes, of course I know. I presume Soseki-san won't have forgotten about me. I could certainly never forget him. Although he does seem to have changed somewhat in the 6 months or so that it's been since I last saw him. Yeah, so half a month he's grown an ego. And as for Inspector Hosonoga, that amazing outfit is hard to believe. I love it. I love it so much. Do I have something on my face? Well, your glasses for one, although they don't seem to be helping you see. Thank goodness he hasn't recognized me either. I suppose it's this disguise, is it? I thought the appearance here and the clothes I was wearing at the time would make for a more faithful testimony. It is my guiding principle to carry out all the testimonies flawlessly. The hair going full bald looks way better than keeping that. Yes, it really does. He looks a lot better that way. Well, it's the same thing with his, like, descendants, where they put on, like, wigs. Well, I can appreciate why an Imperial Police Bureau detective might have been present, but what business does a writer such as yourself have being at the scene, Soseki-san? Didn't think so. Nope.
Well, you see, I had been asked that day to give a lecture on the morning of the incident in the Imperial Yume University's Grand Lecture Hall, no less. Yume University? After the lecture, I had a very pleasant conversation with the researcher for the medical science department. Professor over there, in fact.
With Professor Mikotoba? Yes, that's right. It was arranged by one of the newspapers.
Hi. Yeah, Happy New Year to you. Thanks for stopping by.
They wanted some story about two former students who studied in Great Britain.
Of course, being a renowned author, the press never leaves me alone. They secretly spy snapshots, script stories, and scrub my privacy. As you can see, this conversation was written up in this newspaper here. Read at your leisure, my provincial struggling student friend. I have plenty of copies.
Thank you very much. Practically threw that paper at me. The Soseki Natsume article has been entered into the court record. A newspaper containing an article about a discussion between my father and Soseki-san. The debate became quite spirited. Wow, that baby cat grew. Look at that. This was a kitten. This kitten grew. Why is it cracked? Like this. Interesting. Hello, little cat.
Alright. Anyway, following my interview with the professor, the lady in question appeared and made a very unexpected announcement.
It is a long time, but you just don't think about it?
I should like to go with everyone to see the country's coast. Those were her words.
As I explained before, Miss Brett was never taken into custody. She continued to work in my laboratory under strict surveillance, of course. I know, but it just kind of blows my mind sometimes how fast, like, dogs and cats grow. It's like, oh my goodness.
At the utterance, the university immediately contacted the government to seek guidance, and the response was, permit Miss Brett to go as long as a detective accompanies her.
Deserving you from the shadows? A detective I am at liberty to divulge was me, Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonoga.
Thereby, the entire party departed cordially for the seaside, it seems.
It's extremely challenging to hear all the other members of the public from the vicinity of the beach. But unfortunately, I'm at peak physical fitness at the moment, so I was able to carry out my duty flawlessly, as he bleeds again from his mouth. Well, yeah. She's getting used to things. Well, my inspector, you do have something on your face now. How unsightly. I do apologize.
Does that mean that you went to the beach too, Father?
No, unfortunately I had work to finish off, but unfortunately, of course, it meant that, as my assistant, Ray was invited to take my place.
Of course, being a renowned author, I didn't like to decline the invitation.
Oh my gosh. But if only I had, I'd never have seen that awful sight.
Restlessly racked by remorse and regret.
Is no one gonna talk about this guy behind him? Very well, I must now ask you to present your formal testimony to the court. You will give an account of all that you have witnessed. You can account what you witnessed on your impromptu excursion to the coast. Of course, Your Excellency.
Restlessly racked by remorse and regret, I am.
Standard procedure in court, I guess. In this court, the witnessed scene. On the day of the incident, I was ordered on a special surveillance assignment in disguise.
I just managed to catch that crab when I suddenly heard a caterwaul from behind me.
I ran into the beach hut at once, where I found the pair in question.
Yes, the young girl was distinguished with a dagger in hand, and she stabbed wildly.
I saw blood on the blade. It proved to me that she'd stabbed the victim multiple times. Did she pick up the blood from the blade from the ground? Indeed, it does appear for this testimony that both witnesses here present saw it. The very moment of this heinous crime.
What? If you will recall, I promised evidence as well. What phrase did I use again? Yes, that was it. Damning evidence.
What have you there, Counsel? A so-called fountain pen, is it? Correct, Your Excellency. I found it at the scene whilst examining the body. It appears that in her dying moments, with her final ounce of strength, the victim clutched a piece of evidence that would positively identify her killer.
What? Your Excellency, if you would cast your eyes over the photographic print of the crime once more.
Yeah, she's holding a pen, of all things that she would hold. Oh, goodness me. Yes, the victim is clearly grasping something quite deliberately there in her hand. That's right, the fountain pen. And if you would kindly examine the pen, Your Excellency. Oh, bonus initials have been engraved into the in bonnet barrel. Or Ray Mabambi. The initials of the defendant. No! What a great start. This fountain pen will be admitted immediately as critical evidence. The pen the victim was found grasping in her hand. It carries the initials RM. Yeah, we're doing great.
So, have I admitted anything? Decisive testimony, a damning evidence. There's a bright blue sky outside the courthouse today. Perfect weather to ascribe guilt, I feel.
Not desperate? Yeah. I don't understand. The prosecutor she of 9 months ago has none of this man's poise. Counsel for the defense, you may begin your cross-examination now. Naruto-san. Naruto. That means... Oh, yes, me. Letters, especially in this era?
I would assume
it would be kind of weird. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Well, none of them have the RM for the initials, so it's got to be someone else's pen. Yeah, it would be weird. Is there another Naruto in my courtroom? Actually, there isn't even a single Naruto in your courtroom. Cousin Yutaro, pull yourself together, please. Well, Jezebel Britt was. Yeah, maybe a gift from Wilson would make sense. Because she was under Wilson. She was the assistant to Dr. Wilson. So, yeah, that would make sense if it was from Wilson. Because when I say... it would be very random. Alright, I've seen this countless of times as a judicial assistant. Find inconsistencies in the witness's testimony to prove that they're lying somehow. That's all there is to it. That's how a real lawyer would handle a cross-examination. So let's see what I can do. Cross-examination. The witness scene.
Which reminds me, I wonder if I put... I just want to test something. If I put Susato in her original outfit, will it show the version... Fine, just save. I don't care. I want to go to the title. I want to see... if this changes things. I just want to see. Hold it! Yep, it does. There you go. Does that explain it now? So this is what she literally took Naruto's clothes. Okay, so does this answer everyone's question now? About how everyone thought that she was a boy? In that jaunty disguise? Because it's in her regular outfit. So... that's why I was like, I'll just change it to a regular outfit. Maybe that's what changes. By the way, I love the purple stripe on the hat. That makes a lot of sense. Yep. Correct. Wait, no. I mean, it wasn't the first time I've worn the swimsuit for a dip in the ocean. It's tried and tested. It's tape or something. She looks really cute. Do what must be done to keep the English woman under surveillance. Those were my orders that day. And this tried and tested outfit was the answer? Which, I can just have her in this outfit and then we'll switch it for the next chapter. I think that sounds good, right?
Being able to blend flawlessly into a crowd is an important part of a detective's job. The pit chest is not as noticeable. I submerge myself in salty water, leaving only Mr. Turtle floating inconspicuously on the surface.
Sure. But yeah, it's because we're not going to see this outfit again, which, you know, is kind of sad. I like the outfit. Yeah, she looks more what she's trying to disguise herself as, a cousin of Ryunosuke. I prefer the previous outfit, but the previous outfit will be put on for the rest of the game after this trial.
Mr. Turtle loves the water.
But there was no need for you to blend into the background as this assignment, really, was there?
If that made you arrive late on the scene, I think perhaps you had your proprieties wrong.
That's all. We'll have the... I like the outfit for the second game that they gave, but just to have this outfit, because it's kind of cool. Perhaps I shouldn't pursue this line of questioning any further at this moment. I just managed to catch that crab when I suddenly heard... Hold it! Okay. You're describing the victim's scream, presumably, Suseki-san. In more literary terms, you might say it was a scream that could have pierced the heavens. Gah! Or the like. Of course, that's just a metaphor. Where renowned authors are, well, just describe things. Suseki-san wasn't at all like this in England. Anyway, I spun around at the noise, and the beach hut immediately fell under my gaze. Yes, the beach hut.
The area is popular with government ministers. Many have seaside retreats here for rest and recuperation. The locals are prohibited from entering this area, so it's always very quiet. The beach hut is a simple structure, erected as a place for people to change or take refuge from the sun.
Yeah, it's just for this case, and then we'll switch over to the other outfit. Although the Englishwoman commandeered the hut for herself, which meant that I was forced to change into my underwear on the sand. I imagine that was rather embarrassing for you. Well, anyway, I tossed the crab aside and headed for the beach hut at a run. It's okay. It's okay. Just keep it on topic. Or in more literary terms, I decrabbled and beetled off hut-wise. Found the pair in question. Okay. Wait, by pair, you don't mean to say... But how can that be?
No, you misunderstand. Obviously, I mean the victim and the defendant, Ray Mabambi-san.
Oh, it would have been helpful if you could have just said that from the outset.
If you jump to conclusions, you have to expect to fall flat on your face sometimes.
Dear me, pitting your hopes on such an outside chance. Foolish. Very foolish.
It really was an outside chance. I just wish I'd realized that before I said something silly.
So, Inspector, why don't you tell the court exactly how you found the aforementioned pair in the hut?
Well, it was a sorry sight. A real grisly sight. Why the Norrin curtains hanging in the doorway and step aside only to see the defendant leaning menacingly over the lifeless body of the victim sprawled on the sand.
My gosh, man, you really need to get medicine.
My glasses are nearly cracked at that ominous sight that met my eyes.
How thoroughly appalling.
Ugh, he doesn't appear to be lying here. Well, Sasaki-san, can you confirm what Inspector Hosonoga is saying, I wonder?
Ah, you'd like a literary man's opinion?
That girl in this woman, dagger in hand, was stabbed wildly. Yeah, I'm surprised you survived 6 months. Stabbed wildly? You actually saw her do it?
Oh, indeed. The terrible spectre. The terabit inspector. The bullet torn. The author's torn. Eek. Every sight and every sound still carved in my melancholy memory. That was my impression, at least, as a feature literary sensation. Counsel, what on earth was that shrill and infamous scream?
Oh, no, no. What are you insinuating? I'm as manly as a Japanese man as you.
I wonder if I might interject here, Sasaki-san. Something you said is troubling me. That was my impression. Were your words just now, I believe.
So, you mean to say you're not confident that you really did see what you described?
No, I mean yes. I know what I saw. My ears didn't deceive me when I heard the scream, hence my eyes didn't deceive me either.
I could describe everything I saw vividly. I could publish it all in tomorrow's newspaper serial.
It sounds as though the next installment of I Am a Cat may take a macabre turn.
I think this is a fool's errand. The more we press your author friend on what he saw, the more entrenched he's going to become.
Oh dear, how awkward. I saw blood on the blade.
Hold it!
Alright. She was stabbed multiple times? How can you be sure of that?
Very simple. On the blade, blood on the blade.
Let me see, was she only stabbed once? Only a single wound was identified. The minutes. Yeah, single wound, so it's not multiple stab wounds, it's one wound. The blood?
I entered the hut. I saw the defendant holding the blood aid raised up in the air.
Yes, that's right, I saw it too.
Oh.
And I know that there was blood on the blade already at that point. In other words, the victim had already been stabbed at least once by the time I arrived at the scene.
Yes, that's right, I saw it too.
And the victim was already holding the defendant's fountain pen in her head too. All of which means I can be sure the victim did not die instantly.
Yes, right, I saw it too.
Maybe a year in London was too much for him. He sounds like he's forgotten how to speak Japanese.
The logic of your argument is sound, at least. Well, as I said, it's my guiding principle to carry out all testimonies flawlessly.
Perhaps it should have been your guiding principle to protect the victim flawlessly. That's just my personal opinion, of course. Wow. Well, this is what, the second? Yeah, this is the second time that someone has died under the protection of Hosonoka. Well, technically. Oh. Counsel, you refrain from mocking the witness. Oh no, I just have so many thoughts whirling around in my head. It's all I can do to stand here, wide-eyed and mute.
Goodness, my dear, you really must try to calm down.
But how am I supposed to find an inconsistency in what these two gentlemen are saying? I don't see why either of them would have any reason to lie.
What you must remember, I think, is that witnesses may inadvertently lie at times. For various reasons. Misunderstanding, a mistaken observation, a delusion even.
Ah, a delusion.
What's important is that we determine the truth, and that there's only one way to do that.
Yes, with evidence, of course.
Spoken like a true judicial assistant. During witness testimony, you can use E to pick a piece of evidence. Blah, 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 blah. That may be the inconsistency you're looking for.
Yes, it's all about inconsistencies. Once you've identified a witness's statement that appears to conflict with a piece of evidence,
Present the evidence to the witness with R, and the way ahead will present itself to you, I'm sure.
yes. Alright then. We'll consider the details of all evidence in the court record against each statement to find inconsistency. I hope I'm up to the task.
Don't forget that you can have the witnesses repeat their statements as many times as you like. Everyone has to start at the beginning, remember. So the wide eyes are quite forgivable. And besides, there's no one else to defend the poor girl.
You're right. I need to listen to the testimony again from the start. I know where I'm going with this. So it's the last statement. Let me save. And then present and produce.
Objection!
Yay! It was nice to hear her say objection. With that accusatory cry that just welled up from deep inside me, I think I finally understand. Every time Kazuma-sama and Naruto-san have stood here at this bench, the stakes have been very, very high indeed.
What's the meaning of this menacing pose, Counsel?
I'd like the witness to clarify something for me.
Who? What? Where? When? How?
Not you, Soseki-san. This query is directed at Inspector Hosonoga. At me. In your statement just now, you said that the victim was stabbed multiple times.
Yes, that's right. As I said when I entered the hut, the defendant was already standing over the victim, bloody knife in hand like a murderous demon.
And yet, that cannot be.
What? Get to the point, please, Counsel.
Oh, she's got the book out. In the post-mortem report, it clearly states that the victim was stabbed one time only. In other words, Inspector Hosonoga's testimony is clearly flawed. And Soseki-san,
Me?
you claim to have seen Mabambi-san in the throes of stabbing the victim.
Yes. Yes, I did. Wildly.
But both you and the inspector confirmed the same point, that there was already blood on the knife that you saw the victim defendant holding.
Yes, and...
It's quite simple. We know the murder weapon was used to stab the victim only once. Therefore, there is no way that there could have been blood on the knife if that single stab hadn't already occurred.
True.
Then what exactly is your contention, Counsel? Are you ever going to tell us?
Yes, Your Excellency. There's only one logical conclusion. What Soseki-san in fact saw was not the moment the defendant stabbed the victim at all, but the moment the defendant, in fact, withdrew the blade from the victim's body.
I can't.
Which, why do people in this franchise take knives out of dead bodies? I feel this is a trend that needs to stop.
Excellent work, Sasato. You exploded at them with that objection and then proceeded to pull them apart systematically.
Objection!
Well, this takes me back. Yes, I seem to remember your couldn't stage a scene much like this in the trial 9 months ago. A half-witted child with a half-baked objection attempting to steal the show.
You're right, there were certain similarities. Except the so-called half-witted child managed to outwit the prosecution, who was only half a head of hair.
Well, we're gonna hit him where it hurts, aren't we?
Slander! My head is quite adequately dressed. Yes, all this talk of stabbing, withdrawing, and multiple wounds. It makes not a jot of difference.
What? Why not?
Engage your brain, young man. When the accused first plunged the deadly weapon into the victim, that was the fatal blow. And it was that moment, just as she had withdrawn the blade ready for her next strike, that the witness saw. Witnesses saw the knife was already tainted with blood because the accused had already stabbed the victim.
Ah.
All you have successfully shown with your little display is that the mustache offer is prone to moments of extravagance.
Well, that means you can call his testimony into question more, because if that's the case, then things are happening. I'm in agreement with the prosecution. If the defendant was seen wielding the blade at all, that is sufficient grounds for her actions to be viewed with suspicion. But if she was withdrawing the blade,
Then we are back where we started.
sorry?
Consider this, young yokel boy.
I have 3 minutes till New Year's for me. Almost there.
If the student girl is innocent as you claim, then why would she have pulled the blade from the victim? And with a demon's cold-blooded composure, too.
Back to the trial.
The prosecution demands an explanation, and it better be good.
Why did Ray pull out the knife? Oh yes, going for the jugular. What does father mean by that? Let the court hear your answer then, counsel. The truth is, I don't really know. But I have to come up with a plausible reason here, or we don't have a case. Alright. The reason why the defendant pulled the knife blade out of the victim's body was surely so she could save her life. According to the post-mortem report, the victim's death was not instant. That's correct. It was as though she would have remained conscious for a short while after sustaining the injury.
Indeed, giving her the time to take hold of this piece of evidence that clearly indicates her killer.
Yeah, for me. 2 minutes. The point is, belittling a medical research assistant, Mabambi-san was... Being a medical research assistant, Mabambi-san was compelled to act when faced with the wounded victim. Instinctively, she pulled the blade out in an attempt to save Miss Britt's life.
Did you hear that, Your Excellency? It would seem this is the best we can expect of this young yokel.
Indeed. Ugh. Is it just me, or does it suddenly feel much colder in here? Your Excellency, if I may. Speak, witness. I would like another opportunity to testify. With respect to the slipshod assertion just put forward by the yokel defense counsel, I mean. What the frick? Alright. 1 minute. Alright, let me... Alright. Bum 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 bum. Alright. Yeah, coming to the new year, and we have Sasato as our attorney. That's pretty cool. I don't know which is better. I liked his original one more. Happy New Year! It's the new year! It is! It is now! Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Yay! And let me get these two out. Happy New Year! Happy New Year! I have made it! We've all made it. Yay! Yeah, happy new year, happy new year. I made it. It took a second, but I made it. Woo! Yeah, the three of us made it. Bum 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 bum. Yeah, what a great music to celebrate. Yep. Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, happy new year, happy new year. But yeah, what a way to start. We got Sasato-san. Being our thing. Your job just as the credits on my game finished rolling. Wow. That's just amazing. Yeah, we all made it. Alright, well, I'm gonna end for the night because I don't think I can voice any longer. I might not have a voice. But that was good. We went through a lot. So, we finished the first game, we got started with the other thing. Yay! Alright, thank you guys for watching the stream, and I will see you guys next time, and Happy New Year again! Bye. Yes, we'll watch the trailer another time. Bye!